check, I ran on my bag, I did what I did, yeah. Ran on my check, I ran on my bag, I did what I did, yeah. And how good they judge me, oh. But they don't know.
Setting Dylan Gabriel up to take the biggest L out of
Look how far I came, dog. I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog. I just went my hardest. And I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah. Ran in my check, I ran on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. Ran in my check, I ran on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. And how good they judge me, oh. But they don't know.
Off the Record D merch was created as an extension of the community that grew around the podcast, the live streams, and the conversations that happen every day. The designs are inspired by real moments, real reactions, real stories that represent the culture around the game and the mindset behind building something from nothing. Each piece reflects the growth of the brand, the supporters who helped shape it, and the journey that's still in progress. This isn't just clothing. It's a way to represent the era, the community, and the belief that consistency, creativity, and hard work can turn a small idea into something lasting. Off the Record D merch stands for the grind, the supporters, and the legacy that we're still building. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. How y'all feeling today? How y'all feeling today? Let me finish up my check to make sure my mic is sounding good. And then we're going to get this thing going. We're going to get it going. Great stream for today. Great stream for today, y'all. I'm excited for today's stream. I'm excited for it. All right, we got sound. We good on my end. Hit that like button on the way in as we get everything square and underway. Hit that like button on the way in. Let me get this set. All right. All right, so if y'all notice, I've been playing less and less of the Cleveland media. I'm not even going to play more of the Cleveland media today, and you'll find out why later. I'll show you what they've been up to. We don't even have to cover them too much. If you were part of the paid access on Patreon, shout out to you. Thank you for your support. I put a video out yesterday morning. It was Terrell Pryor speaking on some things, but the language in there is not the most YouTube friendly. But there is about 45 seconds of that I want to play today that I kind of missed during Patreon. So we're going to play about 45 seconds of that. We're going to see Todd Monken showing his excitement. The Baltimore Ravens won a game. We finally got the interview that ESPN played a clip from to kind of portray what Todd Monken was saying about Shador in a negative light. We got the full interview. We're going to break that down. Watch that this morning. Shout out to Zedric. Shout out to Marie for sending that and posting that on Patreon in the group chat and in the DM for Marie. So we're going to get to that. We got Zedric sent me a couple clips on X the other day. We're going to get to those. We got those. Dan Orlovsky fighting for his life as always. A little bit of Fernando Mendoza talk. We're going to get into the NBA slightly. We had some playing games last night. Y'all, I was fighting for my life trying to stay up and watch that Portland Phoenix playing game. So I stayed up and watched that. Watched the ending of the Hornets and Miami game. Kind of messed up what happened to Bam Adebayo. Not kind of messed up. It was messed up what happened to Bam Adebayo. LaMelo, that was some shady stuff you did by pulling his leg. Just a little quick recap on the NBA, but we gonna get to it. We got a great stream for y'all. Hopefully y'all enjoy what we put together today. And of course, we're gonna react to that Todd Monken interview. But we're gonna do like we always do. We're gonna greet everybody as they come in. We're gonna greet everybody as they come in. So on your way in, hit that like button. On your way in, I'm gonna say hello. So let's start at the top. Selmo Fudd, the first one in the box. Good morning.
Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woo, woo. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woo, woo. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woo, woo.
Selmo Fudd in the building. Yo, D, good morning, big dog. Good morning, Selmo Fudd. Good morning. Good morning, Tika.
I don't think he went to school nowhere. If he went to school, he didn't learn nothing.
He didn't learn nothing. Good morning, Black Pearl. Top of the morning. How you feeling today? Happy hump day. Happy hump day to you. Where we at? Where we at? Felix, good morning. Happy Wednesday. How you feeling today? Good morning, Joanna. How you feeling today? Good morning. Good morning, Ivy League Mac. What's going on? Ian Rappaport?
We do not care.
We do not care. We do not care. Zedric, what's going on? How you feeling, my dog?
Nah, that ain't it, y'all.
Cole, you stupid.
Let's run that back because it was pretty quick.
Nah, that ain't it, y'all.
Nah, that ain't it, y'all. I had to grab that. Have to grab that. Good morning, A.M. Williams. How you feeling today? KC, what's going on? Good morning. Good morning, Miss Pamela. CO7-111. Good morning, y'all. Pray everyone is doing well. Thank you. Same to you, CO7-111. Marie is in the building. Good morning, Marie.
Everybody stay on that side when they switched up. You switched up, stay on that side, man.
Good morning. Good morning. I was giving you some shout outs a little bit earlier, Marie. Thank you for sending me the full Todd Monken interview in the DMs on Patreon. So I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for that. Good morning, Miss Brown. How you feeling today? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Zedric said, my internet is out at the house, and I don't care for watching games on my phone. Caught the highlights, though. Man, oh, man. The highlights for the Miami and Charlotte game made the game look so crazy. It kind of had like a college feel to it. If you ever been to where the Hornets play, it is like, I think it's more college-y than it's more NBA. So if I was compared to Atlanta or if I was compared to Cleveland, it's definitely more college feel. They're not playing like music as much as you hear at other arenas. So you really hear it. You could be on the second level and people can yell down to the court and people can hear it. So it's just definitely a different feeling to it. But it was some good highlights for sure. Craig, what's going on? Good morning, man. At first, when I saw the play, I was like, oh, LaMelo just fell. I thought he fell into Bam's leg when I first saw the play. When I saw the replay, I was like, nah, LaMelo, you fell. You were agitated, and you yanked his leg and pulled him down because you fell, which that's not cool. That's not cool at all. That's not cool at all. That's a dirty play. That's not cool. Straight up dirty. Tika has the best intro. He didn't learn nothing. That's a fact.
I don't think he went to school nowhere. If he went to school, he didn't learn nothing.
He didn't learn nothing. Good morning, Maurice. How you feeling today, man? What's going on? Where we at? Okay, we made it through. Hopefully everybody is doing well on this Wednesday. I'm doing good. It is tax day. Hopefully you're not waiting to the last day to file your taxes or to file an extension. But we all adults here. Make sure you're taking care of business. Make sure you're taking care of business. You don't want no tax penalties. This is not financial advice. Just make sure you're doing what's responsible. You're doing what you're responsible for as an adult that's out here getting to the money. So take care of that. It's tax day, everybody. April 15th for this tax day. Just your friendly reminder. So we kind of spoke on some of the stuff we're going to go over today. Another thing we're going to go over, shout out to Black Pearl. Black Pearl sent me a clip. She sent me a clip of Uncle Ocho interviewing Colton Hood, and Colton Hood was explaining the main thing he learned from Coach Prime, and I thought it was interesting, his answer, because the narratives are slowly being put to bed. They're slowly being put to bed, y'all. And then also, I remember seeing something where it was people, even people who hated on Shador, speaking on how smart Coach Prime was as a player. So I got that clip coming up too. It just doesn't add up to the lies they said a year ago. It doesn't add up. Key Mathis in the building. What's going on? How you feeling today, Key Mathis?
45-47.
Y'all know I want to say 45-37 so bad. I ain't going to do it. Happy Winning Wednesday, family. How are y'all doing? We're doing well. Hopefully you're doing well. What is going on, Detroit Gemini? Welcome in. Welcome in, Detroit Gemini. Missed you on the last stream. Glad to have you back on this one. Also, Tika, I ain't see you on the last stream. Glad to have you back. Not sure if you watched the replay. So shout out to y'all. Also, replay gang. Shout out to Laurie, me, Michelle. Shout out to you, always tapping into the replays. Also, CSA is always on the replays. So shout out to y'all on the replay. Black Pearl, you know I want to say that. 45-37. I just made up my own number. And it's like burned in my head now. I got to focus to not say it wrong. Coach Prime got people out here hating big time. Detroit Gemini, he does. They're talking about, oh, the team looks small. This, that. I'm just like, man, oh, man. Come on, man. What are we doing? It's real stuff happening. We are getting ready for the draft. We are 8 days away from the draft. Next weekend, y'all gonna spend the whole weekend with me next weekend, just to let y'all know. So we're gonna be streaming normally on Monday. We're gonna stream normal on Wednesday. Remember, the first round of the draft is Thursday night. So Thursday night, we're gonna stream the first round. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna turn around and stream again on Friday morning, like normal. We might cap it at 2 hours, but we're gonna stream again. Then Friday night, we back at it. We are streaming again. Friday night, I believe the second night starts at 7 p.m. So we'll be streaming then. Then, depending on how much energy we have, we might be back streaming on Saturday. So just get ready for a lot of streams centered around the draft. It's going to be a marathon of streams. So just be prepared. Put the notifications out. Make sure you hit the notification bell. You'll be notified. It's going to be a lot of streaming next week. Next week is going to be a ton of streaming, y'all. And we're going to be here to enjoy it together, breaking down what the Browns do in the draft. So just get ready. Just get prepared. We're going to spend the weekend together next weekend. So just be ready. Yeah, Key Mathis got a really good intro, too.
45-47.
You right. You are right. 45, 47. 45-47. Good catch, Marie. Dr. Clyde Marshall, good morning. The other day I spoke to my frat brother from Cleveland. He is an alumnus of Wilberforce, and his name is Clyde. Wilberforce. Oh, man, I know where Wilberforce is at. Wilberforce College. I know where that's at. Shout out to you, Dr. Clyde Marshall. Shout out to you. Can't tell a lot. I didn't look at CU and thought they looked small. Was relieved to see the stats that they are comparable to other schools. yeah, it's some people say they look small. I think it's good that they're kind of making fun of it. They're making light of it. They're not letting it get to them. I was laid out getting as much rest as I could for on Monday. Needed all of that. It's all good. At this point in our life, when our body say it's tired, we just got to listen. We just got to listen. When your body say, hey, I'm going to sleep, you can do whatever you want to do. You say, all right, well, I guess we're going to sleep then. So it's all good. It's all good, Tika. Glad you got some rest and recovery. Tessa, what's going on?
Well.
What is going on, Tessa? Welcome in. Hopefully they don't pull you into no meetings or anything like that. Let's get to it, y'all. We're going to start off with some motivation. This motivation is from E.T., and this motivation really, it kind of describes how I feel at this point in my life. I didn't always feel this way, but y'all will see why I'm saying this once we get to E.T. Let's go. Let's keep it going. Let's go here. Here we go. Let's get to E.T. Talk to him, E.T.
I'm like, yo, E, is that you? I'm like,
Good morning, Maya. How you doing today?
yeah, it's me. What you mean? They was like, bro, you by yourself. I said I was born by myself. What does that mean? You by yourself. I was born by myself. I'm going to die by myself. Oh, you mean I'm not walking around with an entourage? I don't need an entourage. I'm enough by myself. I don't need 6 people walking around me. I'm being real, y'all. I'm about to help somebody. Number one, I'm telling you, like your story, what you've been through, who you are as a person, like it's enough. Like if you were to be you would attract a whole bunch of people who will fool with you. Now, I'm not for everybody. Matter of fact, it was funny. I did some stuff for the NFL the other day. I was with, anybody remember? He was dope. Hey, y'all. It's crazy. He about my age, right? So he from my generation. It was crazy. I got the mic and I went like E.T. style on them boys. And was like, he loud. I was like, you just met me? Yo, I felt my man, but he was like, you loud. I'm like, and? You not. You feel me? You play football. I speak for a living. Like this ain't the 70s, bruh. This is a different generation. You talk to them different. You address them. You challenge them. This different. I didn't feel no kind of way when he said it. Like I didn't feel inferior. I'm loud to you. I ain't loud to the millions of people that rock with me though. They love my energy. They love my passion. They love me. I'm not tripping on what you think about me. And too many of you in this room, you are never going to get to where you're supposed to get to because number two, you are consumed with what other people think about what you're doing.
That's a bar. That's a bar. For you to get where you want to go, you just got to release everything that's holding you back, especially how people will view you for what you're trying to do. You got to hold it back. And y'all know I don't just like say stuff without breaking it down with how I've went through this too. So initially, I did tell y'all that before I started speaking on like gaming and sports and stuff like that, I was into trading on YouTube. But I'll tell y'all something. I had my voice. I wasn't on screen. It wasn't as interactive. It wasn't inviting because I was still of the mindset that I didn't want to be online. I didn't want my face online. And something happened, y'all. Y'all want to know what happened? I was watching something. I can't remember what it was, but somebody said, if you want to make it in social media and you're afraid to put your face online, you're never going to make it. So that was the first thing that hit me. And I said, ooh, okay. All right. They talking to me. But the thing that pushed me over the edge where I said, you know what? I'm not going to have a problem putting my face online. They said, you're already online. You have other social media that's online that shows your face. You have other videos online. So the thing that was holding me back, the thing that I was afraid of, I had already passed that barrier. I've been on Facebook for years. I've been on IG for years. So what is the difference with me using YouTube, which is another social media platform, and putting my face there? I sat there. I had to give myself the buzzer, y'all. I had to give myself the buzzer because I was letting something hold me back that was a barrier that I already had passed. So when he said, don't worry about how people view it or what people will think and all those things, that was me. And I had to realize, hey, you holding yourself back. So I really felt this. 13 Pro Cal, what is going on? How you feeling, man? How you feeling? So let's keep it going because ET is dropping bars in this.
I'm just being real. Like you too consumed with what does my mom think and my dad think and what do my friends think and what do they think online? Who cares? Like if you're doing what you love to do, all this week, I was upstate New York working with a bunch of kids from high school. I'm talking about elementary kids. I'm the #1 doggone motivational speaker in the world, and I'm talking to some 8-year-olds. I'm in there giving them the business. Shut up, sit down. You about to get this work. Making all that doggone noise. This ain't the block. You know who I am and what I'm about to do for your life? You know how much people pay? Sit your butt down and listen. I had teachers that was like, Johnny, be quiet. I said, don't do that, that's my job. I got Johnny, don't worry about it. I run up on Johnny, like, sit your butt down. But I gotta tell you to sit down. I'm telling you right now, I wanna hear your mouth one more time. But guess what? I love talking to 8-year-olds and 9-year-olds. People don't know. I was a teacher for 7 years. All my degrees are in education. Your problem is you care so much about what other people think about what you were born and called to do that you can't do what you're supposed to do because they don't feel comfortable with what you're supposed to do. Get over it and get over people and be your authentic self. You run around here, what people think. My man was like, I thought you had a doctorate degree. I do. Well, I dress like I want to dress. I'm grown, doggone it. I'm 50 years old, 52 years old. I dress the way I want to dress. You dress the way you want to dress. I ain't never ran up on nobody with a suit and like you're overdressed. Why? Because they want to wear suits. This how I feel comfortable. And I'm telling you, I'm so successful today because the world wants to follow. You got to catch #3. You might have missed 2, so I'm going to give you 3. The world follows.
This is about to be a bar right here. Big bar right here. So we had to watch it through this point. And the crowd is not going to catch it, so he's going to have to repeat it to them to make sure they get it. That fits my maverick nature. I'm not restricted by your fake rules and what other people think. Man, that is good. That is good, Ivy League Mac. That is it. It took me time to get to that point. I always tell y'all, like, I got a certain amount of stubbornness about me that makes me have I got a combination of stubbornness and confidence that makes me not just sulk if something doesn't go my way. So I think that's good, but that doesn't mean in other areas I won't put up an imaginary hurdle or an imaginary bar that I don't need to get past. That's why I gave you an example of putting my face online, which was somebody that I had to think about, and I was like, man, you tripping. You're already online. D just got here a second ago. Man, I heard you were a bartender. Your face was out there. You good. 13 Pro Cal. Another perfect example. I was a bartender in downtown Cleveland on West 6th, which is like a main area that people go out. And I was bartending down there for years. So my face was out there. Like you said, my face was out there. It was an imaginary barrier I put in front of myself. I put that barrier in front of myself, and then I had to realize, man, this is nothing. It's nothing there. Go right through it. You can walk right past this. It's no problem with it. So that's why I'm telling y'all, when I heard this, I said, man, I needed to hear this. Stepping out on faith, believing in yourself. That's a fact. You have to. And it's going to be times where, it's going to be a few people watching or a lot of people watching, but you got to be yourself. You got to be yourself. Be yourself and believe in yourself. So this is good. I want to make sure we don't miss this right here. I might have to go back just a couple seconds to make sure we get this entire point.
You got to catch #3. You might have missed 2, so I'm going to give you 3. The world follows people who know who they are because 90% of the world don't know who they are.
It's a bar.
No, I'm going to say that one more time. You missed that whole thing. I'm about to tell you the way you blow up. The way you blow up is being yourself and not worry about what other people think, because most of the world is worried about what other people think. So we actually honor and respect people who know who they are. Yeah, okay, one more time. All right, one more time. I got
He
more
said,
claps
y'all
about
not
the
getting
8-year-old
it.
than
He
I
said,
did
y'all
for that
not
one.
getting it.
Okay, let's go. We're going to go one more time. I want to show you a secret to success. A secret to success is that people are attracted to confident people.
Talk to him. Talk to him. You might have to run it back. I don't think they're hearing
I
you.
just told my man over there, he's like, let me get a pick. You know, I ain't jocking, I ain't what I want to get. I said, bruh, if you want a pick, you grown, get a pick. But you explaining why you getting a pick, bruh, that ain't attractive. I'm just being real. I'm trying to help y'all. I'm not playing. That's not attractive. When you say no and then you explain why you say no, you don't really mean no. I'm just saying, you put out somebody not, ma'am, I'm selling no, or you say no and you don't, and then you explain, bruh, no is a complete sentence, but you don't say no with strength when you're not confident.
Talk to him.
I just had a gig. I don't know if Brandon here, where Brandon at? Brandon, I just had a gig. I think it was over 6 figures. They wanted me to come speak, and then they wanted me
This is the last point I'm going to let him make, and then we're going to wrap it up and move forward, but this is another good point.
afterwards to do something afterwards. And what did I tell you to tell them? I can't do it, bruh. Bruh, I can't do it. So you want me to speak, and it's my people. I respect them, I love them. We want you to speak 6 figures. I'm like, bet. But then afterwards, we want you to go to a home, which I said, bro, I can't do it. Bro, 6 figures, I can't do it. I just want to talk and speak. And after I finish talking and speak, I just want to be with my wife. I don't want to be with a whole bunch of people.
Talk that talk. He said, I want to do what I want to do. And then keep it moving. I don't want to do the extras. I don't want to speak and then go here, and then I'm going here, then I'm doing this. I feel him. I've always had that about me where I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm not going. I'm talking about, I had that way about me when I was 8 or 9 years old. I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to do that. And it was just because I know if I went, I'm just going to be there. I'm going to be the miserable person there doing something I don't want to do. So I've always had that in me. So it's funny how it's certain things we can have that you would think move us forward, but then we could be missing a little thing or just a little bit of perspective to change how we view something, just so we can get out there and do what we want to do. Like I told y'all, I put up an invisible fence on myself for no reason. And then once I walked through that fence and just kept it moving, I haven't looked back since. So I thought this was really good. Shout out to ET. Always can get something good listening to ET. Always. That's a fact. That's a fact. Shador equal confidence. The team will follow him. They believe. That's a fact. That's one of the staples of what Todd Monken says. He says, I don't pick who plays. The players pick who play. It's who they follow and how they perform. They got confidence in him. They believe in his ability. They're going to make something happen. So I thought this was a really good by ET. Let's keep it pushing forward. What we got next on the docket? Tim Hardaway Sr. Tim Hardaway Sr., I'm sorry. Tim Hardaway Sr. was on 4th and South. He was in studio, and they asked him how he views, how he feels when his son is playing. And I just thought this was really special. So I said, man, we got to share this. Confident people have no problem trailblazing through uncharted territory. That's a fact. That's a big fact right there, Zedric. They asked him this question, and when I heard this answer, I was like, man, this is special. I got to share this. Because if you have children who are playing in sports, I know you felt this way before. So let's play it.
It's living the same dream as Pops. Like, yeah. When you see him on that TV, man, how that make you feel?
You know, when I'm sitting at home by myself and like my wife and my daughters walk past me, they say, why are you smiling? I said, cause I'm enjoying my son play the game of basketball.
That's you.
I played. That's me. I'm living a second life. When he went to the Final Four and they lost in the championship game, I was playing in the game. Yep. A lot of people was like, yo, I said, I was playing. 100%. I was playing.
Full court press.
My wife's like, why you sweating? I'm like, I'm playing. Yeah. She said, damn, you sweating like you playing. I said, y'all don't understand. I am playing. In the NBA Finals. People like, why? They shaking my hand. Why your hand so sweaty? Because I'm about to hoop. Y'all don't understand. I'm about to hoop.
Yeah, I get it.
Your son is hooping. Yes, I'm hooping.
We won, motherfucker.
We hooping. Yeah. They like, damn. I'm like, yeah. So every day, man, especially when he's on, man, my chest is so far out. I mean, my head is so far up. I'm in cloud 9. It's a feeling that I can't even describe to y'all. Y'all just have to feel that feeling, man. It's like, I'm gonna tell you this. It's like getting a car that you want. Every time you get in that motherfucker, you like, oh shit, I love this motherfucker. Yeah.
All right, I had to stop him there because the language gonna get kind of crazy for a second. But just when he's describing how he feels watching his son play, I was like, man, if you have kids, I know you know this feeling. And he was like, it's even hard for me to describe. And he's talking about, he had the nerves. His hands is sweating. He's sweating watching the game. And I'm like, man, I know there's people out there who can relate to this. So I thought this was special. Shout out to 4 for 1. Really good interview with Tim Hardaway Jr. He releasing the book. So this was good. Yeah, Leonard Fournette don't have no filter. The more you watch them, you realize Leonard Fournette has no filter at all. No filter. Like living a second life, that's fatherhood. That's a fact. That's a fact. When I was watching, or actually first I was listening to this, then I had to watch it to see their reactions, and I was like, man, I gotta figure out a way to kind of get this clip in on the stream. So we got this in on the stream. So let's keep it pushing forward. That's the leadership attitude. Respond to Black Pearl. My type of time. If you hear me talk, Latika, you be having me rolling. I saw one of your posts on TikTok yesterday, and you was calling your grandkids Mom Pa Kettle when they was sitting on the skateboard. They was sitting on the skateboard. I was just crying, laughing. Like, I don't think you know how much I enjoy your TikToks. So Tika, shout out to you. Keep putting out your TikToks. I'll be checking them out. You be having me crying, laughing over here, like you don't believe. Like you don't believe. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving forward. This is Zedric sent me this on what day we on? We on Wednesday? Zedric sent me this on Monday. Dan Orlowski still explaining himself when it comes to the CAA thing. And then he's also going to talk about Ty Simpson, which I forgot to tell y'all. We got Emory Hunt coming up later. Emory Hunt has spent a lot of time on Browns media and also talking directly to the Browns. I find that kind of funny. But the way Dan Orlowski views Ty Simpson and the way that Emory Hunt views Ty Simpson is very funny. They're polar opposites. But let's play Dan Orlowski fighting for his life. He's been fighting for his life for a while now, y'all.
It all started last year with the MVP race, and everyone was like, oh, Matthew Stafford's represented by CAA, so was Drake May. Yeah, it's a bunch of nonsense. I've said this, CAA, you know this. You don't work for them. They work for you. That's not meant to be in a disparaging way. The agent works for the talent. CAA has never asked me to say anything. So, yeah, I mean, I don't get it. But people make up narratives.
He's still fighting for his life with that one. He's still fighting for his life with that one. This is where he's trying to defend his view of Ty Simpson. TK, what's going on? How you feeling? TK, what is going on? I'm not working an extra shift today, so glad to be here for the live. Good morning. Good morning. What's going on? Glad to have you. Emory is the new Browns plug. You peeping that, Black Pearl? You peeping that? Emory Hunt, he's been on there a lot. Also, Emory Hunt, he didn't hold back early in his critique of Kevin Stefanski. Hopefully y'all connect those dots. He was very critical of Kevin Stefanski early on. The problem with Dio is that he thinks people care what he says. Yeah, he is like he fighting for his life with that narrative, and I'm like, hey man, just say what it is. But I'll tell you this. I like for people to put out there where they stand. So if you think Ty Simpson is gonna be the best, all you're doing is giving me a receipt that I might have to pull later. So I like it. Hey, if you believe he the best quarterback, say that. Say it with your whole chest. So then it's no confusion when we pull the receipts later if things don't go as planned. So we gonna see. Emory Hunt knows there's a gap in the Cleveland media. I totally agree. Totally agree. Excuse me. Miss K, good morning. How you feeling today? Emory Hunt kept it all the way real about Stank Nasty from the jump. He did. From the preseason game on, he kept it real about him. He kept it real. What you got to say, Dan?
What the tape looks like. I would tell everybody that we were, going over all the guys that are the best in the league in not a 1-year sample size, but over an extended period of time. And there's different levels. I don't believe that I've stated I'm putting Ty Simpson into that very rare group of the Lamars and Joshes and Patricks and Joes and whatnot. But I believe that he's a starting quarterback in the NFL. And if we looked at all of that stuff.
All right, I find it funny. So Dan Orlowski can look at the very few games that Ty Simpson played, and this is where you got to pull receipts. You can look at Ty Simpson in a few games he played, and you can project him out and say he's going to be a starter in the NFL. I vividly remember Dan Orlowski saying he watched Shador's film and he couldn't tell. He couldn't read or get a feel of what Shador was going to be as a quarterback, even though he played all these games in college. You have 4 years of tape to look at Shador. 4 years of tape. You couldn't figure out what he was going to be. You couldn't look at him. You look at less than 1 year starting. This man graduated. He got his degree in college before he started 20 games because he ain't going to start 20 games in college. And you know exactly what he's going to be, and you're going to project him out? All right, Dan.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Dan, you tripping with that. D.O. has lost majorly since Sanders flowed into the media cycle. Yeah, L after L after L. AB getting some more diverse voices to speak on the Browns instead of the constant groupthink. I believe that's why we're hearing more from Cameron Justice too. And Daniel Oyefusi. So we hearing more. We're hearing more. Based on what he is a starter NFL QB, Dan. Let's see if he has a good answer to that. Let's see. Changing the narratives and voices who get to speak on it. That's a fact in real time.
You would sit there and say, okay, what are the overwhelming traits, characteristics, style of play that those guys have and or display that have allowed him be those guys, that person over a period of time. I think number one, it's simply put, can you see the defense? Can you see what the defense is doing and know where the ball is supposed to go? I think Ty Simpson's tape is overwhelmingly a yes in that regard. Number two, can you make the actual throw? Like, can you make the type of throw? You have heard me say this. One of my things is I don't like when people say, and I don't do it, this guy can make all the throws. Anybody can make all the throw.
What are you saying? What you saying, man?
Have you ever had a dream that you want to?
Miss K, I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt and see if he was going to actually say something that made sense. The only thing he said that made sense was see the defense. I just don't understand how you can see that in so little tape from Ty Simpson, but you couldn't see this in 4 years of starting last year from Shador. Damn, man. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Not everybody, Dio, you're proof of that. That's a fact. Not everyone can make all the throws. Was he really watching the Browns games last year? The longer it went, the worse it got. The longer it went, the worse it got. Because what is he saying? My head started to hurt. It was just, I don't know what he was talking about. Say it with my whole chest and bet a bottle of Johnny Walker Black on the Browns. Talk to a 13 Pro Cal. Folks like Jason Lloyd, Ian Rappaport, and Dio are fighting for their careers. They understand that they've been losing, and we are the reason they're taking L's. That's a fact. I wish someone would push Dano on his assessment and why he has an overwhelming opinion on one player but not another. By his contradictory assessment alone, he's not a reliable analyst. I keep saying this. If they look at film and they say, okay, this is the defense, this is the coverage, that's cool. I think that's where some of these guys can live. I'll tell you, as soon as they got to put on the analyst hat, I think majority of these guys, they lose it. They lose me when they turn into an analyst, they lose me. They turn into an analyst, they lose me. If they're saying, okay, I'm dropping back, when he put the virtual reality goggles on and he's saying this is the coverage and this is what I'm seeing, I think he's okay there. As soon as they have to try to put words and an explanation to what they think, it just goes haywire. Haywire. It goes all over the place. All over the place. Dio needs to just stop. Anyone cannot make any throw. DG was a prime example. A.M. Williams, talk to him. Talk to him. Agreed, D. You took the words out of my mouth. Just talking. He's just talking to talk. Dio is just a clown to me. You guys, can somebody set up Mary Kay, Jason Lloyd, and Lima like they set up Diana Rossini? Why are some teams so lucky? Yeah. Her contract was going to be up. She said, can y'all stop the investigation? I'm stepping down. I'm stepping down. I stopped listening to Dano on any show for a while now. If he's on the show, I turn it off. He has trash takes. Yeah, like when I say some of these former athletes, they never learn to be analysts. They're better if they just brought them in and said, break down this film of what you're seeing from the defense here, or break down this film of what you're seeing from the offense. Once they get to this, it's all bad. It's all bad. All bad. Dano needs a PI. A PI auto him too. Oh no. Oh no, not a PI. They need to find some pictures. R Jizzle, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah, he just got to stop. He got to stop.
Stop it. Get some help.
He has to stop. According to Dano, Gabriel was sensational in his preseason. That's a fact. He got to stop. He had to. The longer it went, the worse it got. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving.
When are we going to see Fernando Mendoza under center if Kirk Cousins does start?
Yeah, it all.
This kind of they're talking about Fernando Mendoza, but this kind of ties into us on Patreon looking at Terrell Pryor, because in the highlights we're looking at in that Browns game from 2016, Cody Kessler was the quarterback, Terrell Pryor was his leading receiver, and he was force feeding Terrell Pryor the ball during that game. So I thought this was good to tie in, because Cody Kessler is good when he's breaking down stuff, but he certainly has a certain level of fear when he's explaining like what can happen to a quarterback. There's definitely some fear there. I will use the word analyst synonymous with commentator. What it is called, then if they can make an assessment on tie but not on two, and comment on that publicly. I agree with you. That's why when one of my very first podcast was, are we getting entertainment or analysis? Because what I started to see across so many sports was we were getting entertainment. We were not getting analysis. They were telling us it's analysis. They were calling people analysts, but we were getting entertainment. And I started to see it across every sport. Every sport. Where we at? Charmaine, hardest working woman in Ohio. What's going on? Good morning, everybody. Picked up a shift today so I can buy the 2 jersey. Yeah, you got to get it. And you got to get on that list, because you're going to order it and they go like, oh, 6 weeks out. You're going to be like, come on, man. What are we doing? 6 weeks? 6 weeks? But glad to have you here. Glad to have you here, Charmaine. Listening to your show, D, makes me realize these people are not realistic. I really can't listen to many of them anymore. It's all performative and not fact-based. Detroit Gemini, before I actually expose something, I always say, do y'all want me to expose it? Because once you hear certain things, you can't unhear it. You can't take it back. And you'll see, dang, they don't really know what they're talking about. Then it's like, why waste time listening to them? Didn't Cody Kessler get picked up by a team? I'm not sure. Did he? Let's do a quick search while he's talking. They aren't realistic or fact-based. I am with you. Yeah, they're not. They just talk. That's why they should just call themselves entertainer. Don't call themselves analysts.
All depends on his development once he gets to Las Vegas. If he comes in right away and has great OTAs and looks really good in the offseason, plays well in the preseason, and the Raiders think that he gives them the best chance to win football games, then there's no doubt in my mind that he will be the starter potentially into week 1 and can play a lot of games next year. But if they aren't 100% certain, if they aren't 110% certain that Fernando Mendoza is ready to play, then you do not want to rush him, because if you play a young quarterback before they are ready, you could significantly hurt their development and even worse, their confidence. And it is tough in the NFL to play quarterback with no confidence.
Yeah.
If you start to lose that early on, it is difficult to regain that confidence, and not every guy can do that, and you don't want to put your future franchise quarterback and the guy that you invested the first overall pick in that situation. The beauty of it for Fernando Mendoza, though, is that he has an offensive-minded head coach that completely understands all of this. And he just said that recently. Clint Kubiak came out and said, ideally, you would like for a rookie quarterback to be able to sit and learn. In a perfect world, not everything is a perfect world, but in a perfect world, he could sit and learn behind a mature veteran quarterback so that he could develop. And that's why I think they went out and got a guy like Kirk Cousins, who is a proven veteran, so it gives him options with Fernando Mendoza. It allows him to develop and learn if he's not ready yet. It also gives John Spytek and the Raiders time to continue to build that roster and go out and get some other pieces, so that when that time comes for Mendoza to start, you're putting him in the best situation possible for him to be successful. I love the move that the Raiders have made this offseason in free agency. I think they've added some key players there, but I think...
All right, let's just pause them right here. A lot of this is like fear-based, coming from Cody Kessler due to his experience. It's a lot of fear-based, but I understand looking at things like, okay, this could go wrong, but when do you look at things to say this could go right? And Aqib Talib is going to follow up like, is no perfect scenario. And I would say that if a couple bad games is going to throw off your mental, then you definitely can't be in the conversation for the first overall pick. You just can't. You can't be in the conversation for the first overall pick. So, Cody, this is all based on fear, so you got to be careful. You have to be careful. Let's see. Question: are all NFL teams getting new uniforms this year? No. Sometimes they don't just do it like straight across the league, Black Pearl. Sometimes teams get different theme-based uniforms, and then sometimes they get like, usually it's themes, or if they're changing the logo, but all teams don't usually change at one time. After Shador, I realized their takes are very biased and never consistent across the board. They are not. That's the easiest thing to do is just call it the same way across the board. Then you're not putting your foot in your mouth like they do. Senior day for a $5 haircut each Wednesday. I am now bald. Clyde. So y'all, I'm telling y'all, I worked in basically every industry. So at one time I was going to barber school while working full time. It was a bad idea. It was too much. But in barber college, you cut each other's hair. And I have a colic right on the front of my head. That's where your hair spins in a circle, like, and it goes in a different direction. And you got to cut it in the direction, not against it, you know what I'm saying, all the way down. So somebody did that to me and just jacked me up. So I feel your pain, Clyde. The first pick not playing immediately is crazy. It is. Never mind. I thought I saw somewhere he did. Yeah, I just searched it. I didn't see anything. Charmaine, yeah, they don't want him to play. Yeah, he's consistent. He said the same thing about Shador. He did say the same thing about Shador. But then my question would be, if you're saying this about the number 1 overall pick, then wouldn't that mean Shador could have been a first round pick too? Top 10 pick too? I'm just saying. Questions that need answers. then he ain't ready. Yeah, he ain't ready. If he can't play right away, then he shouldn't go number one. Take him later in round one. I agree with that, Black Pearl. Those people's bottom line is money, exposure, clicks, and views. Knowing their craft is not important. 13 Pro Crowd, great way to break down how the media does things. Mendoza not ready. He's not. I thought the first overall pick was supposed to be ready. In most cases, when a number one overall pick is the consensus number one overall pick, they come right into the league and you build everything around them and you let them go through their lumps as a rookie and they grow and get better from it. Nobody believed when the Tennessee Titans drafted Cam Ward last year, he was going to come in a red shirt. Nobody believed that. They were like, he going to come in, he going to play. It's not always going to be pretty. It's not going to be perfect. But nobody questioned if mentally Cam Ward could handle playing and it not always being the best. Nobody questioned if Shedeur could come in and handle the mental side of playing with Shedeur. So it's just one of those where I think Cody Kessler, based on his circumstances, he was a third-round pick of the Browns. He wasn't expected to play right away, and he ended up having to play after RG3 got hurt, Josh McDowell got hurt, third week of the season. So he has a lot of – it's coming from a place of fear because he's thinking, like, don't mess these guys up. But I just don't know how you draft the first overall pick and then say, oh, he's not ready. Because then I would say he's probably not the most talented player in the draft to go number one. He was saying the same thing last year about Shedeur. He was. Let QB sit and learn is the old NFL. It is the old NFL. Do y'all remember I was saying to me, Fernando Mendoza shouldn't go number one because he's going to be a player who's going to need to sit. And I was saying usually the number one overall pick comes in, plays right away. If you're consensus number one overall pick, you play right away. That's why I was saying I believe Ty Simpson. That's why I was saying Ty Simpson will probably be a second round pick because he's going to need a red shirt year. So I just think this just tells me that the player might not be as good as they're trying to sell us on. Akeem's nephew plays for Coach Prime. Oh, I didn't know that. I hate our uniforms. They need to let me redesign them. You hate the coach uniforms? The coach uniforms not too bad. If you're being hyped up like you are the man, then you better be able to step in first day. Craig, I agree. They were trying to put him on the same level as Joe Burrow, and I was like, they have to stop. They have to stop. I saw something yesterday that the Raiders GM was hyping up Cousins and Aiden O'Connell if he is considered QB3 in that room. That's what we got to pull out Tessa's intro.
Well. well.
Number one overall pick to QB3. Ugh, nasty. These are double standards. Facts, TK. At the end of the day, Shedeur is NFL ready. It was evident in the talent he showed within 07 game without reps, support or weapons. He doesn't need to sit the bench to learn. Also, he expressed he doesn't learn that way. He doesn't learn that way. So it's not there to help him. Caleb, Jaden, CJ all played right away. Now they're treating Mendoza with clear gloves. But did he win the championship? Once you start breaking down what they actually do and what they say, it doesn't match. It's only going to hurt the Raiders the longer he sits. Or Jizzle. Because you could have took a better player at that spot. The Raiders already gave Mendoza a playbook, but he not starting. They want him to work early. Hi, Mendoza. My name is Michael Penix. I replaced Kirk Cousins. Are you sure you want to learn from Kirk? I would say this. They signed Kirk to that big contract, and then they drafted. They didn't get talent for him. They didn't get talent for him. So I kind of get that. I would say wait and see. Where we at? I told you Mendoza will not beat out O'Connell. Man, it's crazy. If he can't beat out O'Connell as a number one overall pick, ain't no way. D, did you read my question about the uniforms? Oh, yeah, Black Pearl, I did. Normally, the entire league doesn't change uniforms all at one time. Sometimes they will do special uniforms where certain teams will change. but usually it's not league wide. The only time you'll see a big league wide change in uniforms is when they go from Reebok to Nike, or from Adidas to Nike, and the supplier of the uniform changes. Then there'll be little tweaks. But usually you don't really see league-wide changes. You don't see league-wide changes. You will see certain teams introduce special uniforms, usually if they are introducing a new center field logo, or like at the 50-yard line, or if they have like a certain theme that they're adding. But it's rare that you see the entire league change uniforms at one time. Very rare. Brent, what's going on? Buenos dias, man. Welcome in. Akib is going to say something very similar to what we've been saying with our comments. Let's play it here.
I think offensively, they're still a little bit of a ways away with their offensive line and with their wide receivers. So you want to make sure everything is perfect. And I know it's not going to be a perfect world, but you want to give him a great opportunity to be successful, which then could mean allowing him to buy time. Now, with that being said, though, do I have any doubt in my mind with his talent and his mindset that he could come in and start from day one? No, I think he's capable of doing that, but that's up to the Raiders to decide. They have to put him in a great situation, and that potentially could mean allowing him to sit for a year or two.
When was your first start?
My first start was week 3 in the NFL.
Of
my rookie year. Now, but mine was because of injury, Skip. So I came in as a 3rd-round pick to Cleveland in 2016. I was told that I was going to, quote-unquote, NFL redshirt, right? That I was planning for the future, and I had RG3 ahead of me and Josh McCown ahead of me. Well, week 1, RG3 breaks his left collarbone. Week 2, or maybe his right, and then the following week, Josh McCown breaks his other collarbone as well. So week 3, I was starting against Miami. And I actually played well my first couple of starts, really played well my rookie year, but it was a tough time.
How good or bad was that team? I can't remember.
We look, I love my former teammates, but we didn't have pieces in place to compete yet. It was definitely a rebuild situation. I had some great guys to throw to, though. Terrell Pryor was my #1 receiver. Andrew Hawkins, another guy. Gary Barnage was our tight end. Crowell and Duke Johnson were our running backs. Joe Thomas at left tackle. Defense was solid, so
he just named some pieces. We know that Terrell Pryor went over 1,000 yards that season. We know that Dawkins was a good slot receiver. We know that Isaiah Crowell was running. We know Joe Thomas is a Hall of Famer. We know Duke Johnson was a very good back. He was a every down back where he could run up the middles in between the tackles, or you could throw him the ball out the backfield. I don't know, man. It was some talent there to win more than no games. I'm just saying. Tom Brady slowly becoming the MJ of the NFL, about to draft his version of Kwame Brown. When I first read that comment, it took me out, Cedric. Like, that would be crazy, because that was Michael Jordan's biggest issue, and now, he sold the team and they're in the play-in potential to make the playoffs. So, I saw a trade rumor. Browns trade 6 and our 2nd-round pick for 12 and 20. We have 24, so 3 first-round picks. I was reading that. I don't know how I feel about that. I wouldn't just make the trade blindly. If it was up to me, only if I would say if Carnell Tate was off the board, if Francis, the tackle from Miami, was off the board, and some guys would have to be off the board that I didn't expect to be off the board for me to trade back. I mean, in theory, it sounds good. Let's see. Because then what could we do? If we had 12, 20, and 24, maybe if Mekhi Lemon is slipping, maybe. I don't know about that. I don't know. Maybe if Mekhi Lemon is slipping, and then maybe if I really like to know how the tackles are going off the board too. So I don't know. In theory, I think it sounds good just to, stack up 3 first-round picks. But then you got to think about the salary implications of that. I don't know if I do that trade. I would need to see who was off the board before I agreed to that trade. If the top guys I wanted were still on the board, I don't make that trade. If the guys who I projected to take at 6 were gone, maybe I make that trade, but I wouldn't make that trade before we were on the clock at 6. I would say that. I follow the Raiders also. That's my other team. I just can't get past them passing on Shedeur after the owner constantly being all up in his face going into last year's draft. I think the owner that wanted him, I think people that worked under the owner didn't want him or Jizzle. It's crazy. After what happened to Shedeur in the draft, I don't like Tom Brady anymore. You can't tell me that his hands ain't clean. Gotcha. Okay. I like it if they trade with Dallas. Yeah, Cody Kessler, to me, I hear it now when he speaks, his confidence was rattled. And he couldn't get his confidence back. So if you notice, that's his biggest issue. His biggest issue with playing a guy too early is all about confidence. It's really about skill. It's really about picking up the playbook. It's really about the moment being too big. It's all about confidence with him. All about confidence. He named some players to me. Yeah, it wasn't a situation where we couldn't do nothing. It was not. Okay, thought so. Me either. I looked at Tom Brady's side eye now. I'm getting tired of the trade back talk. Why go through the process of getting a high lottery pick just to get rid of it? It's starting to get silly. Yeah, it would have to be everybody who I thought was worth the 6th pick would have to be off the board. And we were looking at some straight defensive players and somebody made that deal for that. But if I look at it like, I'm just gonna keep it simple. If the guys I have projected to be there at 6, so I'm guessing if I'm the Browns, I got 3 guys I would take at 6. If for whatever something scary happened and all 3 of those guys weren't there, then maybe I trade back. But I'm not too fond of just trading back for the sake of trading back. Yes, I know something's fishy because Coach Prime mentioned something about Tom Brady briefly when he was on First Take during the Super Bowl. I remember that. He said, I have reason to have fought with Tom Brady, but I understand the position he was in, is what Coach Prime said. I remember that clearly. I wouldn't give up the 6th pick unless you had a deal in place prior to getting the player you wanted. Yeah, or if the player wasn't there. Like, if something spooky happened and guys went way earlier than expected, like it was a run at tackle and receiver early, and then it was like the guy I wanted wasn't there, maybe, but I'm kind of staying at 6. I like 3 first-round picks versus 2 because the wide receivers in this draft are plentiful. Plus, Dallas wants a defensive player, so they'll still get what they want, the Browns. Yeah, that's why I say I think it all depends on who came off the board. So if a bunch of offensive guys came off the board and people were jumping up there for defensive guys, then you probably could talk me into it, but I wouldn't make the decision until we were on the clock. Until we were on the clock. What's going on, Daisha? Good morning. I really want Lemon. He is a whole dog. I would take Mekhi Lemon. I would put him as behind getting Cardinal Tate. I would take Tate first. I would take Lemon. I would take Denzel Boston towards the end of the first round. So I got a couple options I really like at receiver. So give all the other QBs all the weapons. Shedeur needs weapons. He doesn't have the time to have an under average season. I agree with that, Jizzle. I agree with that. Tom Brady don't want Mendoza to look bad as a rookie on his watch. He doesn't seem confident in Mendoza, but he getting the first round money. NFL does what it wants. That's a fact. Cody sounded like he got shook. Was it mentally tough? Yeah, that's usually his go-to when he speaks about it. It's always mental. It's never skill. It's never picking up the playbook. It's never understanding. It's never none of that. So I think he kind of projects a little bit when he does that. But I think that's more to him. How about we just stay put at 6 and pick a blue chip player that can help us? We're always running away from talent, i.e. Julio Jones. That's why I say my first option is to stay at 6. Like I said, I don't control who is drafted where. So for instance, just a hypothetical, just throw it out there. Say Mendoza goes number 1, and then say it's a run on offensive linemen and receivers with the next 4 picks. So the top two tackles off the board, top 2 receivers off the board. Cardell Tate, Mekhi Lemon gone. I'm not going to reach at 6 just because we're at 6. So that's the only way I would listen to a trade for 6. I'm not saying do Julio Jones trade. I'm not saying do that. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. So I get the point. I've been around the Browns a lot when we traded back blue chip players and then we were stuck trying to get blue chip players. I remember we traded back with Atlanta in the Julio Jones situation, and then we tried to get later round receivers. I remember it. So I'm not saying that. I'm not saying just blanket go in and trade. Offensive line and 2 wide receivers sounds good, or offensive line, wide receiver, cornerback would be good too. I don't have cornerback as high up on my list. If we take anybody on the defensive side of the ball in our first 5 picks, to me it would be safety. It wouldn't be corner. It wouldn't be corner for me. It would be safety. Y'all going to be TTG, first ones crying, talking about he doesn't have no weapons, but you wanted to trade back. Yeah, that's why I'm open to listening to trade back in very specific situations. But just trade back for the sake of trading back, I'm not for that. I'm not for that. Facts are Jizzle. He pulled the red carpet out when he started his first game, though. That don't take away from moving funny in the past. That's a fact. Accumulate talent, not just picks. Derek, I agree with you. Marvin, what's going on? Marvin, I've been waiting for you to show back up. Y'all got some legends. Y'all have some legends out of Texarkana. Y'all got some legends. I looked into it. I was looking at it last night. It's across all sports too. Like Rye Smith, who played wide receiver for Denver. It's some linemen. It's some NASCAR drivers. It's some baseball players. Like, y'all got some talent. So I've been waiting for you to show back up, Marvin, because I did look into it. So shout out to you for being back. Shout out to you. If we do move down, Zedric, you know what it was? It probably was because I was excited to let him know that I finally had looked into it. I'm telling y'all, I got a list longer than CVS receipts of like stuff to look up when I have time. So that's one of the things I had to look up. So maybe it was my excitement. That's why I got it right. If we do move down to 12 and if he's there, get Kenyon Sadiq. I agree with that. So that's why I said, like, it's based on a scenario. So if the guys we want are off the board and us trading back equals us getting like Sadiq, I would take that. So I'm with that. I'm right there with you. Bad because Kwame didn't live up to the expectations as number 1 pick. He was a serviceable role player. That's a fact. All right, let's keep it moving. That's Cody Kessler. He kind of hesitant. I think it's fear-based. I think he thinks people's confidence is going to be shook. But I think that goes person to person. I don't think confidence is a blanket thing where you can even see it on paper. I think people have it or they don't. Let's keep it moving. This is the one small part I wanted to play. Because I can't really play too much of this because of the language. But this is one part I missed on playing on Patreon, and I didn't want to miss it. I can't wait until the draft is over. If I hear one more draft scenario, I just want Shador to get good players so they can get to working on those 10 or more wins. I think we're going to get there. You know what it is? It makes you realize it's not really that much to talk about during this time with the NFL. So the draft is kind of extended out. So the NFL has a major thing to speak on every month. That's why I tried this time to not do a million mock drafts. Not like, we'll talk about it when it makes sense to talk about it. But that's why I try to keep it creative during this time, because how many mock drafts you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't do a million of them. I can't do a million of them. This draft is one draft day trade being jacked up. That's a fact. All right, this is Terrell Pryor. he's going to speak on, so this was a very interesting question. He's going to speak on what his flaws are as a player, but then he's also going to add in there something about coaching, and that's why I decided to double back. I can't play a lot of this because they don't have no filter, but I just wanted to play this small part. I think it's about 45 seconds. This just goes to show you can be confident, but you can also have that confidence broken for various reasons. The greats keep pushing past those limits. I agree. And some people on mock draft 10, man, I can't do 10 mock drafts. Y'all see, we did, how many mock drafts did we do? Did we do 1 or 2? And I was like, okay, this is enough. But mock draft 10 is crazy. I can't do it. Let's hear from Terrell Pryor.
You had one.
Flaw in football? Shit, I got a couple of those. I think my flaw in football as a quarterback was I didn't see the field very well. I didn't see the field very well. I think I got antsy a lot because shit. I mean, I got this picture I'm gonna send y'all. It was when I got sacked 10 times. That's another record. My bad. I'm in there 5 times, but my name ain't on it. I got sacked 10 times by the Kansas City Chiefs in 2014, and that's an NFL record. That's what I'm saying. Like, I got something to do with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think getting rid of the ball. You got to make so much quick decisions. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like when you don't have a coach on your side, like the coach I had, he wasn't on my side, so you can't win when you don't have somebody on your side. You know what I'm saying? Like. And that's how we got to groom our children. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to stay there with them and let them grow through mishaps and different decisions. But when you're in the league like that and you don't have somebody on your side, it's hard to win.
Right.
Especially if you ain't a first round guy, you ain't the dude like that they're bringing in that they want. I beat out their guy.
I had to come back to this because when I was setting this up for Patreon Tuesday morning, they didn't have a transcript set up. I couldn't go through and find the certain spots. I was struggling, y'all. But I went back and I listened to this again, and I remember this point where he was talking about what are some of his flaws. And I thought this is very big of Terrell Pryor to take responsibility for stuff that he could work on and he could do better. Because a lot of people wouldn't even like you asking him that question, but he didn't take it. He didn't take it that way. He just was realistic about it. He also pointed out how if a coach doesn't believe in you and is not willing to give you the room to make mistakes, to grow, to get better, it's going to be a problem, and it's going to be hard to win that way. And then also, when the coach has a guy and you come in and beat out that guy, the coach really not going to mess with you. So just a couple of things that he said there that I thought was really good. He was really transparent in this interview. If you want to watch this full interview from Terrell Pryor, it's on Certified Game Podcast. Came out about 6 days ago. So shout out to them. Shout out to Terrell Pryor. So I just wanted to bring that back. Where we at? Sia Anderson, what's going on?
This is a foolishness. Foolishness.
Welcome in, Sia Anderson. Good morning. Yeah, D, I am a last-minute tax filer. I used to file early when I was getting money back. R-A-L? I know you know. Now I play the long game, file for an extension. Tax day hits different nowadays. Yeah, that's why I said. I said, hey, make sure you file that extension if you need it. Hit that extension today so you get that additional time. You don't want those penalties for no reason. Funny thing, my grandma is the one who got me into filing my own taxes long time ago, back in the day. This is throwback for y'all, but I just thought about it. I can't remember if it was not the post office. It was the library. I believe we used to go to the library to get the tax forms, and we would fill it out on paper. So it was not efficient at all. You go get that 1040 EZ because, I didn't have like no extra stuff. I just had my W-2 from my summer job. So it's just always a throwback that, my grandma got me into filing my own taxes way back in the day. Just thought about that. But yeah, you go get that paper from the library, you bring it home, you matching it up, making sure the numbers match right before you send that thing off. So big throwback right there. Big throwback. They swear that's how I was going to play out those mock drafts. Yeah, it's just, man, I try not to spend a ton of energy on stuff I can't control. And with the mock drafts, it's cool to get an idea for players, but just doing 10 and 15 and mock draft 6.0 and mock draft 7.1 and all that, I'm like, I can't do this, man. I'm a person like the point I'm at now, like, I kind of look at myself like, in certain things, I'm like a stubborn old man, and just doing all those mock drafts, I can't even fake it like it's exciting to do a million of them. I can't. Sounds exactly like the situation Shador was in. Glad that season is over. Miss K. That was it. That's why I went back and played it, because I was like, man, this has been happening in the NFL where coaches don't vibe with a player, even though he's on the team. They don't put the player in the best position. They don't allow the player room to make mistakes and grow. You know, when you ride a bike, you're going to fall. When you walk, you're going to fall. And you start off with the training wheels and you scared to pedal. Then they take one training wheel off and you riding and you lean and you relying on that one training wheel on the one side. Then they take that other training wheel off and you might fall. Then you got to get back up, scrape your knee. Hey, they tell you it's good, shake it off. And then you get up and you rolling. So you need somebody to be able to guide you through those steps, because mistakes will happen. So just without the right coach behind you, it can make things a lot tougher for you. So, Shanithia, what's going on?
Broncos country, let's ride. Broncos country, let's ride.
Come to Off the Record D, where we going to read your super chats. Your voice is going to be heard. What's going on, Shanithia? Welcome in. Glad to have you. Where we at? TK, she got a 5-day extension today. Yeah, 5-day extension. You don't want those penalties. Life is sweet. Stay safe. It's getting tricky out here. Yes, I like that energy, C.A. Anderson. I feel like the media is trying to Jedi mind trick the Browns to trade out of pick 6. Why is that pick good for everybody else but not us? Browns just stay put, grow a set, and pick a star player. The funny thing is, I don't think they have any idea of what AB has in store, and that's why the narratives are so crazy. And it's rarely what they predict. They get the mock drafts wrong. Excuse me. They get the mock drafts wrong all the time. Some Shador content creators want Shador to play perfect. They act like he can't make no mistakes. They be killing me. Yeah, fumbles going to happen. Interceptions going to happen. Bad decisions going to happen. It's part of being an NFL player. That's why I always want people to see in the NFL, nothing is perfect. It's going to be trade-offs. It's going to be mistakes. It's going to be a learning curve. If you pick the top quarterback in the NFL, find me the season where they threw no interceptions. Find me the season where they didn't make no mistakes. Find me the time where they didn't miss a read. It's not going to happen. It's a fluid thing. So, even people who want to put like the arbitrary 20 touchdowns, 10 interception number and that stuff on, like, come on, man. I want to win games and do what it takes to win games and just get better. That's what I want. Like, I'm not one of those people that's saying, man, if you throw 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, it's a good season. Nah. What happens when you throw an early interception and then you lead the game-winning fourth quarter drive? Is it a bad game because you had the early interception? Like, it's just crazy. Like, they just gotta let it go. They could do whatever they want to do. I'm just not gonna do it that way. That's what I want to say. I ain't gonna say no names. Yeah, no reason to say no names. No reason. All right, y'all. Let's keep it pushing forward. TK said yes, it was the library. I thought it was the library that my grandma used to take me to pick up the 1040 Easy form. I can't remember what the class was cake now, but when I was in high school, one of my teachers gave us a job with an annual salary and had us do our taxes. Man, that's solid. That's real solid. Yeah, my grandma taught me. My grandma was the first one that taught me. Yeah, my grandma was the first one that taught me, and that's when my stuff was super easy. That was super easy. I had one W-2 from working 3 months in the summer, so it was super easy. So I think it's a very good skill to teach people, because the taxing part, the filing taxes part, I think is easy. But once you start filing your taxes, I think it's kind of like a game to understanding the next level of benefits from doing your taxes. And that's the part I like. That's the part I like. That's the part I enjoy, finding out what benefits you are to having a business, what benefits you have from, being a sole proprietor to going to an S Corp, and, just finding out those different benefits. That's the part I enjoy. That's the part I enjoy. That's what I enjoy. Filing taxes is cool breeze these days. I still use the paper. I'm an accountant. There are some old school things that I'll continue to do to keep my mind sharp. I like it. I like it. I like it. How long ago has it been since I don't think I went and used paper. Definitely not since I was back in Cleveland. It's been a minute because now, it's super convenient to do them online. Super convenient. Or download the tax software, whichever way you do it. If you sling the ball downfield, you're going to get interceptions. It happens. That's a fact. D, speaking on allowing the player to go, why do detractors say Shedeur played terribly? It's because they're not looking at it through a lens of a young player. They're looking at it through the lens of, I know Detroit Gemini is going to remember this. Detroit Gemini, remember I said they never compare Shedeur to rookies? They always compare him to veterans, like 7-year vets and stuff like that, his play. It is meant to make sure you are always putting him down and putting down what he does and act as if he didn't do anything well. So it's a tactic that they're using because he is actually in line with other rookies. And he had some games that are better. He had some games that were worse. He was in line with other rookie QBs, but when it comes to speaking on compare him to other rookie quarterbacks, they don't want to do it. When I compared him to Dylan Gabriel, they said, nah, you can't compare him to Dylan Gabriel. When I compared him to Jackson Dart, they said, no, you can't compare him to Jackson Dart. He a first-round pick, he a fifth-round pick. You compared him to Cam Ward. No, Cam Ward is the number 1 overall pick. You can't compare him to him. Okay. So you can only compare him to guys who've been in the league 7 years, I guess. So it's just crazy. It's crazy. Also, once you file, the IRS will send you the form. Yeah, it was, I think it was because it was a special thing that I was doing with my grandma. That's why I remember picking up the form. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember if they sent us the form or not. It's possible. But I just remember just around that time, it was something that my grandma did. So I remember spending that time with her. Black Pearl said, Arjizzle, you don't need to name them. I know all of them. That's why I stopped listening to them. Hey, people show who they are. Year 2 won't be like year 1. I'm realizing in the NFL how good a QB is based upon if you like them or not. And the media marketing the player, like Emmitt Smith said. That's exactly it. That's it. We learn how to do taxes in school also. Yeah, I did not learn. I wish I would have learned how to do taxes in school. I wish I would. I don't know if it's something they still do. My nephews are young. My daughter's out of school, so I don't know if they still do that now or if they're I know in a couple of years when my nephews get up to that age. If you haven't lived it, they don't mess with us anyway. So if you beat their people out, they try to make you fail. Shedeur's daddy prepared all his kids and Colorado kids too. He did. We had the paperback tax books with all the forms in it. Man, I don't remember the tax book with all the forms in it until after I had filed a couple times already. So let's try to think of the years. Probably my first time filing taxes was in 98, and I don't think I remember the books until probably before 2000 or 2001, somewhere around that time. Y'all about to see the. Hold on, Arjizzle. Hold on, Arjizzle. Y'all about to see the baby mama tax season cars on the road in a couple weeks. The Nissan Altima, the Dodge Chargers, and the newly added Trailblazer. Hopefully, I didn't offend nobody in the chat. Arjizzle, you a wild boy. You a wild boy, Arjizzle. You wild. You are wild. I've been watching the Brady and Manning matchups on NFL Throwback. They're throwing picks. Brady threw 4 picks one game. Manning did in one game. The games are rarely a blowout too. Interceptions happen, man. They happen. People will act like they don't happen. They happen. Interceptions happen. Yes, and so many people are happy to believe and think Shador is terrible without proper context. That's a fact. I can't stand doing taxes, y'all. If you ever prepare taxes, the laws can get so convoluted, and the government is hell bent on changing laws, but the money is astronomical as a tax preparer. It's something I thought about, but then, like you said, C.A. Anderson, I was like, maybe I only enjoy this because it's for me. And I was like, I don't know if I would enjoy doing this for other people. So I never got into doing it for other people. Shout out to C.A. Anderson, reminded Zedric to do that tax extension. Praise God. Yeah, get that thing in. File that extension today. The ones that say Shador played terrible are the ones who don't factor in the worst O-line and receivers that couldn't get open, or that high school playbook and vanilla play call, and shaking my head. Diabolical. That is a fact, Black Pearl. It doesn't even make sense. They start off by saying the team wasn't good. They start off by saying the team wasn't good, the coach got fired, the play calls weren't good, but then say, oh, but Shador, he didn't do enough. How does that even make sense? How is he supposed to turn water into wine when you say all those things first? Once you say the team wasn't good, the coach got fired, the offensive scheme wasn't good, it was predictable, how you expect people to be good after that? It don't even make sense. So I don't understand it. I don't understand it. TurboTax over here. Yeah, Shanika said TurboTax. I'll plug it in. We had them in the 80s. Yeah, Craig, I was born in the 80s, so I wasn't looking at nothing with taxes in the 80s. I wasn't looking at nothing in taxes in the 80s. C. Anderson said, yeah, that was offensive. Be careful, my bro. I'm moving slowly and careful today. As long as they are not stolen, we gonna roll with it. Talk to him, Shanithia. Exactly. I really hate that for Shador. Kevin in the NFL really jacked up his rookie season, but this year they're gonna see with proper training. I think they're gonna see it. It's gonna get dangerous. I believe it. What I believe is because we live in a risk-averse society now. Throwing picks equal not good. Darnold led the league in turnovers and still won a Super Bowl, protected the ball in key moments. Zedric, you know I've been keeping that stat in my pocket, waiting for somebody to come talk crazy, right? Zedric, you know I've been keeping that in my pocket, waiting for somebody to talk crazy about Sam Darnold leading the league in interceptions or turnovers, I should say. But I've been waiting. I've been holding that stat in my pocket. I've been holding that stat in my pocket, waiting for somebody to say something crazy and bring it up because he still won a Super Bowl. Man, it's the tax code that needs to be changed, but they ain't going to change it. They do little minor changes to it. Minor changes. Most underreported story is how Coach Prime coaches mental and spiritual strength into his players. Don't see any other college coach do this. I don't know. The coach from South Carolina State, I see him speak those things and teach those things to his. So I'm not gonna say blanket. I'm not gonna say blanket statement because I haven't looked at everybody to see exactly what they're teaching to blanket statement. But I agree that is something that Coach Prime definitely teaches to his young men. D, the OC coordinator for the Browns, said that in that big coaches interview that he was quoting Dan Marino, he thought and that he wanted a QB that could throw a pick but can really okay, let me read this right. The offensive coordinator for the Browns said in that big coaches interview that he was quoting Dan Marino, he thought, and that he wanted a QB that could throw a pick but rally the team in the fourth quarter. I agree. Picks going to happen. I don't want to attribute that to the wrong person, but my wires are getting crossed. I want to say I thought Tommy Rees said that early on, but I could be wrong. But that's the mentality a quarterback needs. Make a mistake and move forward. And they don't see it as defense winning reps, but that's another conversation. Zedric, they believe that every play you're going to win against the defense is not going to win no reps. It's crazy. He turns those boys into men because Jesus, he's supposed to turn water into wine. That's a fact. 13 Pro crowd. I'm like, I don't know how y'all expect him to do this. or Jizzle. Y'all gonna have dents and dings in those tax season cars, still with the paper tag on it. Wow. D, it's the same thing with Coach Prime. They say he is a terrible coach. Shador is a terrible QB. Now they saying Travis is a bust. The hate is real for the Sanders. I agree. Yeah, I thought it was Tommy Reese. I thought Tommy Reese said that a while ago. I thought Tommy Reese said it. It was a new OC that made that comment, unless Reese also said it. I thought that's why I said my wires is crossed. I thought I remember Tommy Reese saying something but it could have been Switzer. But my wires is crossed with how much information I've taken in. I'll find the link. D. Tommy may have said something similar. He might have. That was Travis Switzer. Tommy was sounding like Kevin. Okay, got you. Yeah, that's why I said I knew I wasn't confident in who I remember saying it. But shout out to y'all. Get me together. How do you rate Coach Prime as a coach? I think Coach Prime is a good coach. He gets guys motivated. I will tell you, I think motivation is a 10. Getting guys to believe is a 10. I think he's a 10 as a recruiter. I thought Barry was talking on the 16th, Zedric. I had to double check. I think Coach Prime is a little bit too conservative for me. A little bit too conservative, when to punt, when to go for it on fourth down. That would be my critique of him. That would be my critique of Coach Prime. A little bit too conservative for me, but he plays to that old school fourth down, you punt it. So that would be my critique. But I think he's a good coach. I also think that you got to look at the situation he walked into, a team that was historically bad for the previous 20 or so years. So it's going to take time to turn that around. People wanted a miracle turned around right away. So you got to have the proper coaching in place. You got to have coaches, not just the head coach, who walk a certain way, talk a certain way, believe a certain way, can resonate with the players a certain way. So I think he's a good coach. I think we'll see more this year. It'll be cemented that he's a good coach. The haters are just going to be mad this year. I'm telling y'all, CU is going to surprise a lot of people this year with how good they are. Just remember where you heard it first. Belief, motivation, what Colton Hood said. The Browns should have drafted Travis Hunter with Shador. I'm hearing rumors that they were supposed to draft Travis Hunter, but the Jacksonville Jaguars trade package was just too good for them. That's what the rumors are. Let's keep it moving. What we got next on the docket? Actually, we're going to get to Coach Prime now. I like this. I like Colton Hood. I like his confidence. I like how he handled this. And I like how he speaks on what Coach Prime taught him. So it goes right into the question that you just asked me. CU program was dead. Plus, he got there. He had to take what was left in the portal. That's a fact. So that's why I think this year is going to be cemented that he's a good coach. And then once he start winning some conference championships, then they'll say, okay, he's a great coach. I think that's the trajectory. Yeah, context matters. They never bring up what he walked into.
Because that's what Coach Prime was, the best DB to ever play the game. And so I'm sure that you took something. What did Coach Prime teach you about how to play this position? Obviously, it's like, look, the thing that you can't do at the corner, and we see a lot of corners, and Ocho and I was talking about this, is that they panic. That's the thing. And you get a pass interference when all you have to do is just turn around. But they panic because they feel their beat and they don't trust their instincts. They don't trust their technique. So what were some of the things, some of the nuggets that Coach Prime
I think, honestly, the biggest thing I learned from Coach Prime was just, like, how important watching film could be for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he would harp on, film watch. You know what I'm saying? And I would watch film before, but, like, the intent that he taught it to us and how to watch it, you know what I'm saying? I think could definitely take somebody's game from being good to being great. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was the best thing, the biggest thing I would say that I learned from him for sure.
Jason Lloyd, you want us to run it back for you? Jason Lloyd, do you want us to run it back for you? Jason Lloyd, just in case you didn't hear that, I used to watch film, but the intent he had us watch film at, how he taught us. He didn't say me. He didn't say I. He said how he taught us to watch film. So I just want to work myself through this. I just want to work through this problem. I heard Jason Lloyd say Shedeur did not know how to watch film. I then heard Jason Lloyd say Shedeur did not watch film. So my question is, we watched Tim Hardaway talk about the joy and the way he feels with watching his son perform and play football. You think Tim Hardaway is holding any tricks of the trade back from telling his son? Now let's bring this back to Coach Prime. You think Coach Prime is teaching everybody else on the team the importance of watching film, how to break down film, how to take good players and turn them into great players based on them watching film? And he told everybody there. He told everybody there. He told Travis. He told Jimmy Horn. He told LaJohntay Webster. He told the offensive lineman. He told everybody there the tricks of the trade. And when it came to Shedeur, he said, you know what? I'm not going to give you the sauce. I'm giving the sauce to everybody else. I'm letting everybody else know this is going to take you from good to great. But my son, my seed, his son that he raised, that he coached, he wasn't going to give him the tricks of the trade? Hey.
Stop it. Get some help.
Jason Lloyd, we don't believe you. You need better people. Y'all got to stop. The reason why the media is losing ground to people like me, because somebody like me, I'm somebody who does a lot of research before I speak on something. There is a microphone in front of me, but I am not just projecting what somebody whispered to me and wanted me to get out and say it to more people. To me, this microphone is a tool for me to use so y'all hear me clearly. This microphone is not for me to spread somebody else's message. That is the difference between me and the Cleveland microphones. And another thing they could do is do some research on what people are saying to you before you go and spread it out there. So what we learned is Jason Lloyd has been being lied to. That's what we learned. That's what we learned, y'all. He's been being lied to. Now, with everything that's going on at the Athletic with Diana Rossini, the Athletic put out their requirements for maintaining integrity when you write an article. When I said Jason Lloyd cannot put these things in an article for the Athletic because he doesn't have credible sources, this is why. These were lies. Nobody would come and say Shedeur didn't watch film. Nobody would even get on record and say Shedeur was the worst quarterback based on EPA, because he wasn't. When Jason Lloyd put out this bombshell article that he had on Shedeur saying Shedeur was the worst quarterback ever since 2000, immediately I said, that's not true. What did Jason Lloyd come out and do? He had to come out and say, well, it really was this. Just do a little work. Just do a little work. Look at what they are telling you and determine if it is correct before you go out there and say it. That's all you got to do. It's simple. It's very simple, y'all. It's very simple. Colton Hood, we appreciate you. We appreciate you putting out there what Coach Prime taught you. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Let me see. My chat. Why is my chat stuck from like 2 hours ago? Let me refresh the chat. All right, it's stuck, but that's okay. It ain't gonna stop us. Shout out to Black Pearl for sending me this. I appreciate his confidence, and I appreciate him putting it out there what he was taught by Coach Prime. So shout out to Black Pearl, shout out to Colton Hood. They led us to this segment, and we're gonna keep it moving forward. I gotta slightly tweak some things because my other chat is not working how I needed to. But that's okay. It's not gonna stop us. It's not gonna stop us. We still gonna put this together. Let me add something here. Bear with me, y'all. We doing this thing live. But we making it happen. There we go. There we go. All right, let me catch up on the chat because my other chat is not working. I'm glad the Browns traded that pick. Stank Nasty would have not known what to do with Hunter. He would not have known what to do with him. Shador is an example of how Coach Prime makes men. They last even after football. No Colorado players in trouble. Don't think not one got a case. 13 Pro Cal, talk to him. Nobody talks about that. I'm glad Travis went to the Jaguars. It's a better fit for him. Shador fits Cleveland. I agree. Yeah, we talk about watching film. They putting all these narratives to bed. Remember, he stayed at Jackson State to play in their championship game and help them hiring a new coach. Excuse me. They don't want to talk about the facts of situations. Tyvis said Lloyd loves Shador. Man, if that's love, I never want that type of love to find me. Because whatever Jason Lloyd got going on with Shador, that's not love to me. That is not love to me. So I never want that to find me. Never, ever, 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 ever.
Oh my God! Wow! I got money.
Shout out to Black Pearl. Let me adjust this on the screen. Here we go. Let's get this right. There we go. Shout out to Black Pearl. She got something to say. Let's lock this back. Well. Actually, let's do it. What up?
Well.
Hood, did you say that Coach Prime taught you how to properly watch film, but he didn't teach his son? The truth is coming out more and more each day. It's like in the wintertime, when it's below zero, they tell you, leave that slow drip on your faucet so your pipes don't freeze and burst. It's a slow drip of all the truth coming out and putting all the false narratives to bed. This is another one being put to bed. And I got something coming up for y'all next that's going to put it even further to bed. Shout out to Black Pearl for the support. I appreciate you. You wasn't playing if you wasn't watching film. That's a fact. I don't want Jason's love. Not at all. If that's love, I don't want that love to ever find me. Not only research D, you're also applying logic and critical thought. That's it. I'm not doing nothing special that nobody else could do if they didn't just take the time. Lastly, I'll add I have a philosophy of how I speak on things and a baseline of standard that I hold things to. So that's how I don't end up in as many situations as other people. They pay people to do their research, but don't fact check it. That's a fact. That's a fact. He knew it so well they had to throw a mistake in the install. Just playing games for no reason. Tyvis just saving Jason. Yeah, that's a bad person to get in front of because now you attach to him. You attach to him with everything else he says. The lie test determined that was a lie. That man don't rock with Shador. Where we at? Dear Athletic, y'all fired the wrong person. Jason Lloyd. Mary Kay 2. Jason shouldn't be allowed to lie verbally either. That's worse. I agree with the time and the day and age that we live in now. It's a lot worse to get up there and lie and it could just be projected out everywhere. It's crazy. It's crazy they allow it to happen. Crazy. Mary Kay and Shador header too. Jason thought Dylan was better, and so did many. That's a fact, Michael Barkley. The truth will be told no matter what. What's going on, Rashida? That's a fact. Exactly, Key Mathis. We know that. You don't say the things he says about a person that you like or love according to Tyvis. That's a fact. And his daddy likely told him not to let people play games with him. That's a fact. The sad thing is, if you wanted to know the truth, it's not even hard to find. So at this point, anybody telling these lies is choosing to lie. It's a choice. It's a choice. Prentice Premier, what's going on? He said on that yesterday time. It's all good, man. It's all good. Welcome in, Prentice Premier. It's all good. Rashida, thumbs up, beautiful people. Welcome in. Welcome back, Rashida. You're absolutely right, because people get their news more from hearing, not reading. That's a fact. They just listen. Jason also said Shador was not out there really working hard, that he was too busy making videos. Just wrong after wrong after wrong after wrong. We know that stupid games win stupid prizes in Teller's wife's voice. That's a fact, Keep Mathis. Shake my head, diabolical. Zaycast, you tripping. What love got to do with it, for real? Anthony Lyman said the locker room ain't supporting Shador or never heard them speak any good about him. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. Where we at? And once the season started, not a single video was released by Shador. His brothers made and posted videos, but not Shador. That's a fact. Nobody talks to Lima. Yeah, Lima tripping. Lima gonna Lima. That's a fact. How you throw a mistake in an install for one player and you're babying and guiding another QB through their install? Questions that need answers. Questions that need answer. Tyvus lost credibility after speaking up for Jason Lloyd. He did. Is that StreamYard or YouTube issues with the super chat post? I use a different service. I use like a third party one to post super chats. For it. So it's the third party that's giving me issues. They had an update that I just did a couple of days ago, but man, I'm old school and I'm like, every time I update something, that's when it don't want to work properly. That's when it don't want to work properly. So it's another service that I use, for this. Social Stream Ninja is a service that I use, but it's having some issues today. It's having some issues today. Oh man, I don't know what just happened. Shout out to you for asking that question, Selmo Fudd. It just updated. So watch this. It just fixed itself. I just started clicking around on it and it fixed itself. So I don't know. Shout out to you for the question and me just trying to mess with it because it just fixed itself. Where we leave off at? We are, let me see. Got that one. Plus, when you make decent money, you always owe in some way. So trust, I know about taxes and what they pay for. The lies. What's up, Jimi Hendrix? The lies Lloyd told were an attack on Coach Prime as well. That's a fact. They were. Glad to have you back, Rashida. You answered the question about the 6 and the health line. Turn it to the health line. So shout out to you. I'm on my way to make that dollar scream and holla D. I don't think any team is revealing their draft picks to anyone. If so, I'd like to know which teams do that. School me. Teams do not do that. Only the number 1 overall pick is the one that we'll hear about early. If it's not the number 1 overall pick, we will not hear about it. Y'all, the Cleveland media is going to be unbearable this OTAs. They're out there counting reps, but I think Monken going to put them in check. I think what he's going to do is he's already laying the groundwork for how he's going to deal with the media, where he said, we can change this every day. So he's going to tell them, don't read into who goes first. He's already laying the groundwork for putting them in check. Shout out to Gen X. D, keep doing what you do. Always love what you provide to us. Real. I appreciate it. I appreciate that, Prentice Premier. I appreciate that. I mean, DG was getting coddled too. He was. G Bush, that dude, he number 1 defender of 12, and they tried to discredit him too. Shake my head. I can't wait till 12 blow up this year. Hater gonna hate, wrist up. That's what you do. When you don't attack a person's argument, you attack their credibility. You do that because you can't defeat their argument. So that's what people do. As soon as a person, if I say something and a person attacks me and they don't attack the argument, I knew I won at that point. I usually won't even make it too far and go back and forth with them. Yeah, back in business, sell more fun. I don't know what just happened. So I started clicking on the actual other app that I use, and everything just popped up. It's crazy. It is crazy. It is crazy. Maybe I gotta keep it open. That's probably what it is. So we'll see. Maybe I need to keep it open. Okay. I'm going to try to make it to a practice. If my bonus right, I think they're gonna do 3. 3. No, they're gonna do more than 3 open practices. More than 3. I wish they were doing open practices on the road. Monken is going to do what Kevin Stefanski should have done. I agree. DG, they defended him to the end. As soon as 12 into the game, I saw the change quick to Cleveland media refused to admit it. Yeah, I saw it early. I agree, D. Monk already got an evaluation scheme and a rotational schedule. He does. Asante, what's going on? How you feeling? Welcome in, Asante. My license plate for 10 years is MVNG FWD. I'm not going back and forth. I'm moving forward. Here to declare you to pass it over on you. All things are new. I'm moving forward. I like that. Always moving forward. You can't spend too much time on the past. It'll slow you down. I got something else for y'all, but I got to switch the view so y'all can see it more clearly. Even some haters speak highly of Coach Prime. Check this out. He's not a hater. Let me make sure y'all can see this. Let's go here. All right, let's play it.
When people already know you're good, unless you can find a way in debating them to do things that they know they shouldn't be doing.
If you're a quarterback and you're going to stare down Deion Sanders, it's a fool's errand. Deion will read you.
I remember playing against him, thinking that I was playing against another quarterback out there because that's the way he thought about the game. He saw the game from the defensive standpoint as if he were playing the position that I was playing. His football IQ is off the charts from a defensive player's perspective.
Not only could you tell that Deion was a smart player, but he also knew how to bait quarterbacks, which is a really difficult skill for a cornerback to master.
Deion was so good. If you tried to bait him into thinking you were throwing it to the inside seam receiver, he would bait you to think that he's jumping on it, and then you'd throw it outside, and then he would whirl and turn around and intercept the ball.
All right, so we even saw one of Shadora's haters in there, but how did Coach Prime get that smart and not pass it along to his son? I'm just asking a question. How was Coach Prime this smart and he didn't pass it on to his son? So, it's just they're hating. They don't want to see them have success. The problem is the people who want to hate, they have no control over it. You don't see other teams really hating like that. You don't see other individual players hating like that because they see what's being built before their eyes. They see what's being built right before their eyes. So, I'm not worried about it. The haters going to be haters. That's what they're here for. They're here to balance out things. So, hey, they could be wrong as long as they want to be wrong. I'm not going to stop them. I don't think Monken is putting his first head coaching gig on the player Watson. I don't think so either. Feeling great, just taking 1 second at a time. Hey, that's the way you got to do it. Man, F. Boomer Esiason. Yeah, he was a big time hater. Big time hater. Hey, DG is cool. He on our team. I'm lifting up every teammate and speaking life into the Browns. Come on and join in. Moving forward. I like it. And they think he didn't pass this to his sons. Please, that's a fact. I remember your show where you said mediocre people hate greatness. That's why they don't like Coach Prime and his offspring. It's just the reality. I just put it out there. And say it. And then eventually it comes around. They don't understand greatness. They don't understand what makes people great. They don't understand the mindset of people who strive to be great. So They pick and prod at things that don't matter, and greatness is putting in the work when nobody's looking. So you putting in the work, and they still talking about last year. They're a year behind. So if you look at a lot of how I view things, is usually through the lens of mindset. So the thing that got me excited about Colorado and about the Browns this year was the mindset of the people that they brought in. That was the first thing that got me excited, because I knew that was the first step to turning things around. I knew it was. So people will see it. They're gonna come on that side. Y'all are starting to see people now be more positive on the Browns. Y'all are seeing that trend of people now being positive on the Browns. Y'all are seeing it. So more people will be on that side. They just overlook that as a form of disrespect towards Coach Prime. They do. They can't stand him. They can't stand him. Could have been watching film, could it? Craig, you see that? What could have made him so smart? Maybe because he was watching a ton of film. I didn't like him before the Shedeur Sanders draft comments. I didn't really hear much from him. I know he is on the radio in New York, but I didn't go seeking out him to say anything. So I didn't really listen to anything he said prior to the Shedeur stuff. So I like Watson too as a teammate. He may have repented, and that's cool. I just caution him to stay away from what tempts him. I speak life into Watson. You represent this new Cleveland. Yeah, that's why I always say with Deshaun Watson, the reason why I believe Shedeur is going to beat him out is because of health. It's because of health. Now, if we were getting Deshaun Watson from his rookie year and he was fully healthy, then we got a competition on our hands. But the Deshaun Watson we're getting and the amount of injuries his body has been through, I think he's going to be a number two. Yodi, is Jim Schwartz still under contract? I expect his name to come back up this season. He is still under contract. He is still under contract. That's why he wasn't free to just go get a job somewhere else. That's why he wasn't free to go get a job somewhere else. He is still under contract. Hey, the Browns played hardball with him. They played hardball with him. They said, look, hey, you can step down, but we're not releasing you from your contract. And it's another step to that Jim Schwartz could have did. Jim Schwartz could have tried to negotiate a deal to buy him way out of his contract, but he did it. So they're definitely going to bring up Jim Schwartz the first time it's a mistake, but that's going to be something that I probably won't get that much energy to. Watson was clear about 2 grand juries, and the whole thing was bogus, and the grand jury agreed. Yeah, if I'm not going to be a person who says I believe in the law when it works in my favor, and I don't believe in the law when it doesn't work and how I view things. So that's my sense. He wasn't in front of the class. How was he watching film? Ask Rex. Facts. Lies on lies on lies on top of lies. Let's keep it moving forward. This just shows you that whatever they say about Coach Prime and watching film and Shedeur watching film and teaching people to watch film, it's just all lies. Let's keep it moving. Emory Hunt. We're going to see how much of this we get to. Emory Hunt, he's been more on the actual Cleveland Browns media more. He's been on here for about 20 minutes. We're going to see if how much of this we listen to, but it's always good to listen to Emory Hunt. Always worth at least a listen. D, has the Cleveland microphones ever considered that Watson might be okay with being QB2? Never. It's kind of like the people who only look at things from a negative lens but never look at it through a positive lens. They only see the one side of it, so they're not balanced in their view. If our owner would have fired Kevin instead of trading Baker, we wouldn't even be having this convo for real. I knew Kevin was the problem. I'm just saying we can't make that mistake with 12. Monken made Lamar Jackson a MVP. I think he took Lamar Jackson's games to another level, and Lamar should be a 3-time MVP. The one that their favorite quarterback, why is his name slipping my mind? Josh Allen one should have been for Lamar. I don't know if he would have got fired that early on when it was a situation with Baker, but as soon as Baker was gone, it became clear the first season that Watson was able to play after his suspension, you saw it just didn't work. It just didn't work. Kevin Stefanski was trying to turned Deshaun Watson into a system quarterback, and it didn't make sense, versus building it around the quarterback that he had. He made Lamar a better passer. And he also expanded their passing game because Greg Roman was just more comfortable designing up the run game for Baltimore. And another thing he did was Baltimore didn't stop being efficient running the ball when he helped Lamar become a better passer. So let's listen to what Emory Hunt got to say.
You know, John Carroll is not the wide receiver, Tyron Montgomery. Pretty sure we got him in the guide, too, and got his full scout report. So it's a labor of love, but I'm glad we finally got this thing done and get it out to the public.
Absolute congratulations. It is a labor of love, and I am glad that you have got this thing done, Emory. We talked, obviously, at the draft. Has anything changed in your mind since we talked at the draft relative to, let's start with the big conversation around the Cleveland Browns at number 6, the wide receiver position or the offensive tackle position? Where do you stand here today on that topic?
You know what's fascinating is when we talked, this was free agency. So we were kind of figuring out what was going to be the focus. And now that they've addressed the offensive line, I'm more inclined to start to think, hey, they really can go best player available at both spots in the first round. And so I know that's not what a lot of people want to hear. They want to hear wide receiver. But, man, if you think about the Cleveland Browns and the coach that they have in Todd Monken and what he can do with this offense, you are now a little bit more, okay, maybe they can go O-line, D-line at pick 6 or best player at pick 6 and get a skilled player at 24. I'm still along the lines that they've done enough along the offensive line. And if you feel like the drop-off is, between your wide receiver 1 and someone else, go get him. And even though we've seen the talk about Monroe Freeland, who at the time when I talked to you, he was my number 1 tackle, he still is, and now everyone's on board, but maybe you can kind of see a situation where he's going to be there at 24, then take the home run skill player, whether that's offense or defense, right there at 6.
All right, so let's go just stay with you on the offensive line here for a second. Is there somebody in your mind that you would be thrilled to take at number 6? Is somebody in your top 10 on your board on the offensive line?
I am still a Monroe Freeland guy, and I feel like that would be my selection at pick 6. Also is because we've seen DeJuan Jones, and he looks great, by the way.
Yep.
But lost weight. We've seen him play on the right side. So now, because Titus Howard has played on the right side and can play guard, and now you envision the offensive line, okay, maybe we can slide Howard into right guard, push DeJuan Jones over to right tackle, and plug in Monroe Freeland at left tackle, and we've now answered all of those questions up front along the offensive line in one fell swoop. And I think that would be my mindset going in, because I think people are forgetting about DeJuan Jones and also, what he brings to the table on the right side. So I think that is where my mindset is, that he still can play if he's fully healthy. That's an answer that could be at a right tackle while you draft the left tackle in Monroe Freeland.
Where's Monroe Freeland on your big board?
He has Monroe Freeland as his number 1 tackle. But I want to get to something because I believe it was Derek who brought up getting Kenyon Sadiq, and also C.A. Anderson asked about Kenyon Sadiq in the group chat on Patreon. I didn't think he would be there late, but they have an idea that I want to get to that they're going to talk about. I think it's pretty good. Let's see. It is here. It's about right here.
That's what we have in the Judy and the Bonds and the Tillmans.
When
I will say this, just to throw this here, and talk about this this week. I got a mock draft coming out on CBSSports.com later in the week, and I put this in here because we may be thinking in terms of receiver when we say pass catcher.
Yep.
What if at 24, Kenyon Sadiq is there? Because you can accomplish the same goal with multiple tight ends. Now you have Harold Cannon and a Kenyon Sadiq, and maybe in the top of round 2 you get a Chris Brazzell out of Tennessee. Now you're cooking with gas because you done leveled up 3 times in terms of the offensive line, a pass catcher at 24 and a receiver at pick 39 or whatever that case may be. I feel like that's another scenario that could make a lot of sense because of the Todd Monken factor.
So, Emory, you want to know what I want? I want Tate at 6 and Sadiq at 24.
You and me are saying we are offensive guys by nature, so of
yes,
course I'm right there with you.
All right, that makes me happy.
Now, when we were talking earlier about the trading back, and I was saying basically it depends on how stuff goes if I was trading back. Now, if somehow I was able to trade back and get, say, a Denzel Boston and Sadiq, I would do it. I think that Sadiq, the tight end from Oregon, is going to go a lot higher than in the 20s. I'm guessing he's going to go at the same time tight ends started to go off the board last year, right around 9, between picks like 9 and 14. I think that's when Sadiq is going to come off the board because his skill set is so different than a lot of the other tight ends. He has wide receiver speed. He has the ability to be lined up in line, in the backfield, in the slot. That's so valuable. Very similar to Harold Fannin, but he runs faster than Harold Fannin. And he's stocky, and he's a willing blocker. So when we talk about like trading and stuff like that, it would have to be for something like this. If it's not for something like this and this is the plan, then I'm not with the trading back. It has to make sense, and the players got to make sense. So I just wanted to hear that. Anytime Emory Hunt is on anything Cleveland Browns related, I always tap in and check him out. This is really good. He's on there for about 30 minutes. I also find it interesting that they're giving him big chunks of time. They're not doing like the Cleveland radio stations are doing with giving him 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there. They're giving him a decent amount of time to speak. So I thought that was interesting. Just a little nugget right there with them, letting him get his shine on a little bit more. So let's update. Let's read the chat, and then we're going to move it forward. Where I leave off at? I think I left off about here. Because Cleveland media and the likes of Jason Lloyd, Anthony Lima, Mary Kay keep hating. They're always hating. I think DeWine will play harder for Shedeur, New Cleveland. I think DeWine, I think he's bought in. I think he's a player who's going to play hard. I don't know if he can make that adjustment to left tackle. So I want to play guys where they feel the most comfortable. That's what I want with DeWine. That's that cognitive dissonance they have. They don't want to see the tea leaves. Speaking on the Cleveland media, it's so bad they actually advocating starting Deshaun Watson or another outside QB to start over 12. Yeah, they tripping. They are not confused. They chose to keep making up their own narratives when they want to be negative about Shedeur. They say that's what the Browns feel. They do. Shedeur is rounding up the troops for a new beginning. Facts. If you wear the Browns uniform, you and the team collective are on the same page, QB, wide receiver, or whatever. I show up all dog pound love as I should. 100. That's a fact. They all on the same team. Shedeur got them being hopeful and having fun in practice, and Monken is showing the players appreciation. And I think Monken is also showing their vision. He's showing their vision. And also, it's a side to Todd Monken that I believe he shows the players that you got to find glimpses of, and I got something to show y'all with Todd Monken showing that. D, maybe he will come off at 6. The Browns might shock everybody. Are you speaking of Sadiq? That's tough. If you said, would I take Kenyon Sadiq or would I take Carnell Tate, that's a tough one. I don't know what the Browns will do. Man, that's tough. That's very tough. I'm giving a slight edge in those two to Carnell Tate. Slight edge to Carnell Tate. Slight edge. Slight edge. That's what I would do. Slight edge Carnell Tate.
Let's get ready to rumble!
All right, y'all. Main event. We're going to go over a little bit of what the Cleveland media has been up to. Then we're going to get to the Todd Monken interview, their release, and then I'm going to show you all the fun side of Todd Monken. So let's get to it. This is the main event. This is why you're here. Let's get this down. What we got? Let's take you down. And let's get that graphic up. We're going to skip this one. All right, y'all. So I haven't been spending close to any time speaking on the Cleveland media. And the reason is because they're a fish out of water. They're fish out of water. It doesn't really make sense to spend a lot of time reacting to what they do. And I'm just going to show y'all why. Yeah, Sadiq at 6 is high, but his skill set, I think, is good. If Sadiq turns into a Brock Bowers type of tight end, production wise, would he be too high at 6? would he be too high at 6 if he turned into Brock Bowers production? What he did as a rookie? I don't know. I don't know. So, but this is what they've been up to. This is ESPN Cleveland. This is ESPN Cleveland. This is what they've been up to. This is why I haven't been responding to what they do. They've been speaking on a big trade that the Browns are going to do pre-draft a lot. So just look at some of their titles. Big surprise coming. Unexpected Browns move coming. Browns rumors heating up. Big trade brewing. Browns, or back to work, that's a good one. Ty Simpson breakdown. Why are we doing Ty Simpson film breakdowns? Latest draft rumors. Browns moves coming. New draft rumors. And of course, they already talking about are the Cavs in trouble. So this is the reason why I haven't really been highlighting or responding to anything with the Cleveland media, because they have no idea. They've been locked out. Their access has been denied. That's been proven for a while now. So it hasn't really been a reason for us to speak on them. They're out here guessing and doing their 19th mock draft. So we haven't spoke on them. Let's go here. 92.3 The Fan. They're highlighting their top quarterbacks. We don't need to see that. Albert Breer. We don't need to listen to what he has to say. Talking about Andrew Berry and what moves he might have on the table. They don't have any idea. Highlighting Mary Kay and what she got to say. We don't need to hear that. Falsely making a competition between Shador and Deshaun more than what it's actually going to be. We don't need to talk about that. Trying to guess what Andrew Berry is going to do. They have no idea what he's going to do. We don't need to talk about that. So they're a fish out of water. Now they finally realized that Myles Garrett wasn't going to be traded. There's no reason to react to them. This is why y'all haven't seen me play videos from them. There's no reason to. If we just want to keep talking about the next quarterback trade scenarios and all that stuff, it's no reason. It's no reason. No reason at all. They're throwing darts in the dark. They have no clue. No clue. So, I mean, I maybe I could spend some time pointing out, oh, they're wrong about this or wrong about this. But at this point, it's like, what's the point? It's like, what's the point? So that's why I haven't talked about them. I scanned their video titles the other day too, and I said they ain't got nothing. They got nothing. Nothing to see here. AB is a mastermind. They will never know until they know. We're gonna see next week. That's a fact. Guessing for content is the new wave. That's a big fact. That's a big fact. They don't know nothing. I see what you're doing.
I don't think he went to school nowhere. If he went to school, he didn't learn nothing.
He didn't learn nothing. So this is why I haven't been speaking about him. This is why I haven't been speaking about him. So if you were curious, if you wanted to know why, what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to get y'all ready for in the fall. They're going to say some nonsense. They're going to spew some bad narratives. They're going to try to cause problems. We are going to speak about football in the fall. I'm not going to react to Tony Grossi and the quarterback tracker. It's not worth it, y'all. It's not worth it. What I've done is, instead of making a big deal about it, I just slowly removed them from the streams, and I wanted to see if anybody noticed that we didn't even need to talk about them. Nobody was in the comments saying, gosh darn it, another stream and you didn't play what Mary Kay said? Another stream and you didn't play what Tony Grossi said about the Browns making the trade? You're not going to talk about Anthony Lima? Man, man, oh man, I just slowly removed them. I just slowly removed them from the streams. And I was like, look at this. Nobody misses them. Nobody misses them. So I just wanted to show y'all that this was intentional. This was to just kind of get a gauge and see if anybody was like, man, we need to go back to listen to them. It's proof. We don't have to. And like Key Mathis said, hey, Cleveland media,
We do not care.
we do not care. So I just wanted to show y'all, they are there. They exist. They are fish out of water, and we're going to leave them where they are. We're going to leave them where they are. It's going to get crazy this summer. We're going to leave them where they are. We're going to leave them where they are. So if you was looking, if you was wondering, it's a lot of people out here to talk about the Cleveland Browns, Shador-centric content. They're going to bring them up and play them and react to every video. That's cool. Do your thing. Make your content. My content is not going to be based around people who don't have an idea. I'm not saying you only got to consume one form of content, but I'm just letting you know what my content is going to be. There's going to be other people to do that, and you can go enjoy it. Go enjoy it. But just know, over here, what they say on Friday, over here on 43rd and Western, we not going to deal with them. We're not going to deal with them. And what I noticed is y'all not even looking for them. Y'all not checking for them. So we ain't going to check for them. We're not going to check for them. Just wanted to show y'all. If you're curious, if you're wondering, there's no point. They're not offering nothing. They're not offering nothing. Actually, let me go back to that view because I want y'all to see another side of Todd Monken now that we let them be what they are. I was just going through, looking at those titles and looking at what they were saying, and then two things came to mind. The first thing was another quarterback breakdown. And then I thought about this.
Nah, that ain't it, y'all.
Listen. Nah, that ain't it, y'all. That ain't it. That ain't it, y'all. So let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Remove them. Nobody missed them. Todd Monken has a side that I believe that the players get to see that other people don't get to see. And I'm going to show y'all because I'm not sure if y'all saw this. And I gotta tell y'all something. I got a confession. I enjoy finding things that most people haven't seen and showing it to y'all. This is one of those. So I don't know if y'all seen this, but I take pride in showing y'all some things that's different than what you'll see everywhere else. This is one of those. So check this out. Hey, look at this.
Saw Todd Monken on the field late in the game.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know. I
want to show y'all. So Todd Monken, let's make this larger for y'all. Todd Monken calls plays from the box when he was in Baltimore. Let me slightly adjust this for y'all. They're going to show Todd Monken. They're going to show Todd Monken run out, and this is the energy that I like to see from Todd Monken.
We saw Todd Monken on the field late in the game.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know. I wasn't expecting to see him till we got in the locker room, but for him to be on the field, I'm like, this man is funny. He's funny.
We saw Todd
Y'all see
Monken
that?
on the field late in the game.
That's my coach, y'all.
I wasn't expecting to see him till we got in the locker room, but for
that's
him to
my
be on
coach,
the field,
y'all.
I'm
That's
like,
my
this
head
man
coach.
is funny.
We saw Todd Monken on the field late in the game.
I just wanted to show y'all that. I thought that was cool. I thought that was him showing a different side of Todd Monken. This is my coach, y'all. Y'all think that guys don't want to play for him? Y'all think that guys aren't going to rally around him? Y'all think that people believe he came here to lose? Like the Cleveland microphones have been saying? They're not going to be good. They're not going to be good. Yeah, okay. Okay.
We do not care.
We don't care. We don't care. I thought that was a good look for Todd Monken. And then also we got this. They finally put out the full video of this Todd Monken interview. And now we get to see what Todd Monken really was saying in this interview.
Here.
Let me pause it. We're going to get to it. it's actually the way that ESPN clipped it. It was what I thought. It was what I thought. They clipped it to make it sound worse than what it actually was. When you listen to it, it's actually not the way that they clipped it. So we're going to get to it. Let me catch up on the chat, and then we're going to get to this Todd Monken interview. It's about 20 minutes long. We'll see how much we play it. He dropped some bars in here. Todd Monken going to be Todd Monken, and I like that, and I respect that. I appreciate that. So let's catch up. Let's catch up. Where do we leave off at? I think I was about here. Good job. I really never want to hear from them again, ever. That's where I'm at. Never, ever, 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 ever. They keep saying Miles getting traded, though. Yeah, they tripping. Hey, Cleveland media, we do not care, just like Tomlin said. Like you said, this year will not be like last year. It's a new day. Hashtag new Cleveland. Talk to him, Black Pearl. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same. AB is going to be like Sonny Weaver in draft day. He going to shock the draft. Hey, I'm just going to let AB do what he do. Do what you do, AB. Honestly, they'll shift the question once it's officially announced that Shedeur is starting. They will. They're going to ask a million questions. Well, what did he do to deserve the job? How did he earn the job? What did he do from, the offseason program until now to, they're going to do all that stuff. They're going to do all that stuff. They're going to do all that. The content is drier than the Sahara Desert. Super dry. See, it has good use for what we deal with. That's a fact. Ain't nobody come to see Otis, the Cleveland media. Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. I already informed G. Bush I'm not watching UCSS unless he's on. Then again, I might not watch if he's on. Man, I'm going to tell y'all. Remember I told y'all it's the topics and it's what they choose to speak about? That's what makes UCSS hard to watch. It's all speculation. They don't want to talk about facts and what's real, and they always throwing a hypothetical at you. And then if you don't want to engage in hypothetical, then they say you don't really have a voice. And it's like, man, what y'all doing? That's old news. Old news. Just saying, bro, you have officially become my favorite Cleveland podcaster. If I never hear another word from those folks you mentioned, it will be too soon. I appreciate that, just saying. I appreciate that. Yeah, Todd Monken was hype. Zedric and that, Todd Monken was hype. Who wants to hear from the Cleveland media? Nobody. Nobody. Good vibes. Cleveland media ain't ready for this. They are not ready. They are not ready. I watched the interview this morning. It was a really good interview. Yes, I watched it this morning. It was good. Yeah, shout out to Zedric. Shout out to Marie. Making sure I had it early. Old buddy was clutching his pearls the whole time Todd was talking. Super nervous. He was nervous. We have been right about every story 3 to 6 months ahead of Cleveland media. Ivy League Mac, talk to him. Talk to him. It got to the point. You know what happened? Remember I used to go back and I say, oh, we're going to rewind. It got to a point where, to me, as a content creator, I thought it was getting old that I was rewinding so much to stuff I said previously. So now I just kind of rewind here and there, not as much, because they're so far behind. I always got to go to my old content just to go to what they're talking about now. And I was like, dang, man, I'm kind of overdoing it with the rewind, but reacting to them, they're so far behind. It's the only thing to do. Ivy League Max said, I stopped watching UCSS last September. He said, I'm out of here. Remember that Magic Johnson? When they said, you going to be here? He said, I'm not going to be here. That's Ivy League Mac. He said, I'm not going to be here watching it. All right, let's get to the Todd father. Talk to him, Todd father.
He's the new coach of the Cleveland Browns. He is one of the best offensive minds at any level of football. Great track record. You made news this morning by missing the coaching photo. I just want to say the haircut looks great. Appreciate that. Sometimes you got to use trade-offs. The coaches are probably looking on, God damn, Todd looks great.
I'm so sick of that
haircut
photo,
and they probably
story,
it because you got
coaching photo story. So sick of it.
All worked out. It all worked out. I think it's interesting. I want to start here about your story. NFL experience, certainly college experience, bigger schools, smaller schools. I think the story of offensive football in the last 15 years is that every level of football is coming closer together. And what I mean by that is high school schemes to be so different from college schemes, to be so different from NFL. That started to change, let's say a decade ago, especially at the NFL level where the spread and all that stuff. What have you seen, just since he started, let's call it 15 years ago, what have you seen as far as how college schemes borrow from pro schemes and high school schemes and how that's been sort of a great merging?
I think the two things that have evolved most over the last 15 years in our sport has been the spread offense.
Yep.
And then what's evolved off of that, starting with air raid or West Coast, throwing the football, being an 11 personnel. Then it evolved to, all right, quarterback athleticism, QB-driven offenses. And then that led to, okay, less fullbacks, tight ends, less statues at quarterback. So the game was more wide open. And that's what you saw at the high school level. So as you're training players, that lends itself, okay, into college. Well, what do the high school players know? Well, they know spread offense. You've got more athletic quarterbacks. You've got less fullbacks. You've got less tight ends. And then that just keeps, it's a trickle up. It's more of an upward of what players and what you see as their skill set. Because anymore, how long do you have in coaching to develop that? Right. By the time we get them, like, how long do you really have to develop a player that's never played fullback to play fullback? By the time he gets really good, you're fired. I mean, what the So it's like, how much time do you really have? Okay, so the evolution of the spread offense and then quarterback driven. Then the other is analytics. We're analytics in terms of how the game is played. And I'm not talking about how you look at drafting. I'm talking about playing the game, styles of concepts, and also decision-making, fourth down calls, possessing the football. That has really come into play the last 10 or 15 years.
He asked that question, and he understands 4 words of what Todd Monken said. He just shaking his head and nodding. You asked him the question. That was a thorough answer of how the game changed. It used to be different games. It used to be a high school game. It used to be a college game. It used to be a pro game. You asked him that question, and he broke it down thoroughly how basically as the game changed in high school, pros and colleges started looking at high school offenses. They got more creative. They start adapting, and then before you know it, all of it looks more similar. Versus all of it looking different. When I put on pads for the first time, when I was a little kid playing Pee Wee football. Do you want to know what our go-to play was? Our go-to play was toss right. Toss right. That was the play that the other team couldn't stop. The quarterback just took the ball from under center and just tossed that thing and to the running back. Running back took off. Easy money. You getting the first down. You getting like 20 yards. Easy money. The game has changed where you rarely even see toss right, toss left, sweep plays anymore, which those plays used to dominate. So you asked him about the evolution. He broke it all the way down to you. I would have loved this answer, and I would have been like, okay, quarterback-centric spread offense, that we see that merging, and I would have asked the next question along those lines. He about to take it all the way off that subject because he said, look, I was asking that question because they told me to, not because I really understood what you were saying. He just nodding and shaking his head. Nodding and blinking. Nodding and blinking. Repeat back what he just said to you. No clue. Deer in headlights, y'all. Deer in headlights. Deer in headlights. They'll say he's not being professional on the sideline. It's not becoming of a head coach. That's a fact, Cedric. You see the way he kept looking at the camera every time Todd got to going. Oh, it's going. When Todd said the thing about his wife, I was like, oh, you a wild boy, Todd. Dude just sitting there looking like, I'm not going to be here. He did not lie either. Cedric, he did not lie. That's a classic meme by Magic Johnson. I didn't even catch the haircut comment when I watched it earlier. Yeah, when I watched it, that was the first thing I heard. I was like, man, not this again. Not this again. Yes, him nervous. He is nervous. Kevin was the report Coach Prime got on to. That's a fact. I remember your position used to be, I can't tell you who to watch. Then Cleveland media kept laying eggs, and you were like, stop watching that mess. Ivy League Mac, you remember that? I did. I used to always say, because, you know, like, I understand the process that people go through to create content and all that stuff. So I did. I used to be like, hey, man, watch what you watch. Watch what you watch. Then it got to the point, I'm like, man, I can't hold back. Man, don't even watch it. They don't even know what they're talking about. So I just left it alone. He's sitting there looking like a dummy. Like, he don't know what he's talking about. I believe the Browns have been disingenuous about their intentions. The words they speak are left up to people's interpretations. The Browns can shut down the narrative, but they are not. So here we are. I would say it's just like we learned as kids. If somebody pokes at you and get the reaction that they want from you, they know that every time I poke you, you're going to react. So if the Browns were to keep going back and forth with the Cleveland media would not get the message and stop. The Cleveland media would take it further to get more responses. So the Browns are not coming back every single time they say trade Miles. They put out a hard, firm statement about not trading Miles at the beginning. If you keep saying we traded Miles, that's your problem. If you keep saying we like this guy, we don't like this guy, that's your problem. They are showing it as much as they can without responding to every little thing the Cleveland media does. The Cleveland media is not going to stop. Look at how much Mary Kay asks about quarterbacks. Even if they come out and say Shador is the starter, do you think the next press conference that she get an opportunity to ask questions, she's not going to ask about quarterbacks? No. So you don't bend to the will of the Cleveland media. The Cleveland media has to bend to the will of what they're covering. The Cleveland media just can be out here looking crazy if they want to. They'll just lose credibility. The Browns aren't going to respond to everything they say. It wouldn't make sense to. It wouldn't make sense to, because they'll just take it further. Mary Kay still asks every single question is always regarding the quarterback. What's going to change her from doing that? The Browns are saying, we can't change them. We can change what we put out. If you notice, the Browns have used their social media team to combat everything that the Cleveland media has done. They don't got to come out there and get on a press conference and say, this is not true, that's not true. No. Every crazy thing that they put out there, the Browns social media team has responded to it. The people who want to see the answer, they see it very clearly from the Browns. The people who don't want to see the answer, they still lost talking about, are we taking Ty Simpson as number 6? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. If I spell all these things out for you and you still don't get it, hey, nothing else I can do. Nothing else I can do. What could the Cleveland Browns come out and say that will make the Cleveland media change their tune? I'll ask the question again. What can the Cleveland Browns as an organization come out and say publicly that would make the Cleveland media change their narrative? What could they do? What could they say? Jason Lloyd said he got contacts in the building. He's saying that they don't believe in Shador. What do the Browns do every opportunity they get? Show belief in Shador. They came out there and said, hey, we're not trading Myles Garrett. We did not change his contract as a means to trade him. Everybody talked about trading him. At that point, I'm not coming out here to say we're not trading him again. No. If y'all want to run with that, go look crazy. Go look crazy. It's funny. The Browns have actually taken the approach that, hey, I can't save the world. They can't save Mary Kay from themselves. They can't save Tony Grossi from himself. They can't save 92.3 The Fan from themselves. They're going to do what they do. The Browns are saying, you're going to adapt to what I do, not I adapt to you. The Browns don't cover the Cleveland media. The Cleveland media covers the Browns, not the other way around. You don't go give away the power to them and amplify their voice and make their voice stronger. You minimize their voice by not even dealing with the foolishness. When they talk, whenever the Browns beat reporters get an opportunity to talk to Jimmy Haslam, Todd Monken, Andrew Berry, what is the tone they have with the Cleveland media? AB, what did he say? If you believe in that, that's a lie. You can't believe everything you hear. What did Tony Grossi do? Push back. Oh, Mary Kay, why wouldn't you do even reps? Why wouldn't you do that? Look, we can change it. We can change it from this day to this day to this day. If they don't get it, they don't get it. The Browns said, look, man, we put it out there. I can't change the world. If you don't see it, that's on you. That's on you. That's on you.
Browns fans are trying to get a handle on the Todd Monken offense. What do you call it? How do you say what do you say your philosophy is right now? And obviously, it's going to differ from year to year, and things change and defenses evolve. Like in 2026, your broadly speaking offensive philosophy is what?
Well, I think you have to mold and adapt to who you have. If you said what really is a core belief is that our physicality, our effort and execution ought to pop off the tape. If you just said just holistically what you want it to look like, it ought to start with that. That is a core principle that is set in stone. Your methods are not. How you go about that are in sand, and they change and they evolve, and you adapt on a yearly basis, not only by the players that you have, but by how there are changes in football. What a philosophy would have been for Chuck Knox 40 years ago with Seattle, ground Chuck, and running the football and how the game has changed. Just look at every sport. Just look at basketball and the three-point shot and how that's changed, where they said 12 years ago that Golden State could never win a championship being a jump shooting team. And now everybody shoots threes like it's a ping pong game. I mean, it's crazy. And then baseball launch angle. And, OPS is the major driving stat. When I was a kid, if you struck out, you did laps. You took extra BP. Now you're not as good a hitter if you don't strike out. You need to, have a launch angle and hit for power and drive runners in. And so it's so different. The game is always evolving, but there are certain core principles, certain beliefs that you cannot waver on.
Brother.
Another one. Man, the plane blew right past him. Todd Monken just broke that down so well. The system is no system. That's what he just told him. The system is no system. The system is how you perform and being flexible, being able to adapt and change based on what the defense is doing to take advantage of it. The system is no system. He didn't get it. Todd Monken is giving him so thorough of answers. He gave you a basketball analogy. He gave you a baseball analogy, how the things have changed. He still missed it. He is just reading from a list of questions. I don't think he understands the history of football based on when Todd Monken is going historical. My man is just sitting there nodding and looking at the camera, checking his phone, looking at who walking past. He don't get it. Let's catch up on the chat, and then we're going to keep it moving to his next question. Where do we leave off? I think I left off here. And that's the guy asking Travis should just be a DB. He has zero clue. Yeah, I don't think his understanding is there. Y'all got to think those brothers making their own UCSS taking a different storyline, but they still got a job to do. Yeah, UCSS could do whatever they want to do. They could do whatever they want to do. I'm just expressing, if you keep doing the same thing that is causing you to lose viewership, maybe that thing is not working. I'm not saying you got to change it. they can do whatever they want to do, but usually in a performance-based sport, if something is performing, you change it. But if you keep doing it, hey, that's your free will. Do whatever you want to do. But if your viewership was at one number and now it's at this number and you're still doing the same thing, hey, live your life, man. Live your life. I'm not saying they got to change. Hey, they can do whatever they want to do. The Browns are controlling the narrative. Less is more. I agree with that. They act like they don't hear what AB and Monken say. They still make up their own narratives. They do. I agree, D. The Browns ain't going back and forth. It would not make sense to. Even when they announce it, it won't change at all. It's going to take a consistent winning to get them to pivot. That's a fact. Even then, you'll still have some that think the same old Browns. I agree with that. Every video the Browns put out showed Jason got no contacts in the building. Facts. Browns know Jay just getting clicks. That's a fact. No more interviews till you stop lying, for real. Cleveland media is the people that you get out of a meeting with and you feel dumber than when you got there. And you're looking like, how do I get that time back? I needed that 45 minutes to do something else. Why did I just waste that 45 minutes? No interviews for you. AB straight out told Daryl he did not like him. And then he gave a little joke with it and kept it moving. So I think they're being upfront with how they feel now, way more than they were previously. I'm behind. I had to take a phone call, but I totally disagree with Emory Hunt. Which portion, Jizzle? Which portion? Where was he saying take Moreau Freeland at 6? Is that the portion you disagree with? He told him he was going to take Daniel's question first because he liked him better. And then, remember a couple weeks ago I told y'all, hey, y'all notice Daniel starting to break news for the Browns? It's happening right before people's eyes. D, he don't get it because he didn't come here for that. He don't know nothing. For real. He just there. He just there.
I don't think he went to school nowhere. If he went to school, he didn't learn nothing.
All of it is going right past him. I think that's the part that amazed me when I watched this morning was how is all this stuff going right past you and you don't get it? You don't get it. Good for AB. Daryl said AB should have been fired, so good for him. Yes. D, if they weren't qualified to get the job, how do you expect it to know or understand what, when, where, why, and how? The non-qualified to ask a decent question. Man, 13 Pro Cal, talk to me. That's what it is. They are clearly asking questions that they don't know the answer to, don't know the history. They just asking the question they told them to ask. AB told Mary Kay, I'm not telling you anything more to her face. And he told her, I don't even want to waste no more breath on this. Like, they doing it. I'm back. I didn't see where AB told Daryl he didn't like him. It was, I believe it was after they announced Todd Monken as the head coach. They were sitting somewhere and he said, I'm going to take his question. He kind of said, he didn't get a chance to ask a question yet. And I like him more. So I'm going to take his question first, Daryl. That's kind of how he worded it. They be hearing what people be saying. They do. They do. All right, let's keep it moving.
I look up, somebody be like, I'm a Casualties fan. I look up, like, this guy's a stud. He's batting like 208. I'm like, no, he can't be a stud. He's batting 208. And like, no, you don't understand the modern game. And it's like, okay, I guess not. But I would, you weren't a major leaguer if you're batting 208 when I was growing up. But
he walks,
yep,
he strikes out, and he hits for power.
That's right.
And it's like, that's where it ends up. It's like, it's okay. Like, no one even looks anymore at strikeouts. As long as you either get on base or you knock runners in. That's it. End of story. Like, you either hit for power and knock guys in. Hell, it used to be, I was a St. Louis Cardinal fan. Everybody stole bases. The Cardinals stole bases there. Willie McGee and, I can't even think of who else. Gary Templeton before we got Ozzie Smith.
Yeah.
And you had guys that were just stealing bases, and that was just, they played in a big park, where it was vast. You try to hit into gaps, and now it's everybody's bringing the fences in and hitting for power. Because what was that commercial with Maddox and Glavine, like chicks dig the long ball? Chicks dig the long ball. I mean, who doesn't like home runs? I mean, so.
What is that for football? In your opinion, like when we shift it in 2 years, we're going to be saying, we now.
Crazy because it's conflicting because of the injury report, but people love big plays and big hits. That's what fans really like. They like explosive plays. They like ball being thrown down the field and touchdowns, and they like people getting depleted and big hits. that's counterproductive to injury reports, but that's what they like. I mean, when you go to a boxing match, do you like sparring or do you like a big hit? I mean, what do you like? You like guys just dancing around and then hugging each other? Hell no, you want big hits, right? That's what you want. You want explosive athletic plays, right? People like home runs, like you said. People in basketball like athletic plays that come out of nowhere, great steals. That's what people want. I mean, without question.
Not talking about
Todd Monken likes every sport, I'm starting to notice. In this interview, I was like, dang. So he grew up, he liked the St. Louis Cardinals growing up. He can give the basketball analogies, went back to Golden State when, funny, it was Charles Barkley who said they couldn't win as a jump shooting team. Then he gave the boxing analogy. Okay. Todd is versatile.
Analytics thing, but a lot of guys have been, you came in their early 90s, Notre Dame, is that right?
I was at Grand Valley State in 89 and 90. Then I went to Notre Dame.
Okay, great.
Yep.
You come into a very different era of football. There's no analytics. There's nobody throwing for a fourth down, all that stuff. But what was your journey as far as figuring out the analytics, embracing it, understanding the new parts of football? Because not every coach who came in 1989 ever embraced it or even looked into it.
Well, I think you have to be open to information.
Yeah.
I think just in general life, people that are closed-minded, I feel sorry for them, that they're closed-minded to religion or political beliefs or anything in life. If you're closed-minded, I think that's a real tough way to live, being open-minded. So that works in our business. Why would you not want to be open-minded to other ideas? And you still get to make the decision. Like, I'm open-minded to how my wife thinks I could be a better husband. I don't always agree with it, and she's usually wrong. But at least I'm somewhat open-minded about that, right? Like, I just think when you're not, I think it really...
Did y'all catch that? Todd Monken was unhinged at this point. This was so funny to me. He wild, y'all.
I'm open-minded to how my wife thinks I could be a better husband. I don't always agree with it, and she's usually wrong. But at least I'm somewhat open.
Hey, the Todd father, your wife can't be catching strays in these interviews, man. Your wife cannot be catching strays like that. She cannot. Let's see. And he gonna mention his favorite unsolicited first. Yep. And he had to go back and catch himself to add Dylan Gabriel to it. Before the man can even ask about Shador, he described Shador, for real. Todd reminds me of my dad, RP old man. There were only 2 channels, ESPN sports channels and Westerns. RP to your father, TK. Cleveland media is closed-minded. Very good description. Lima, Mary Kay, Lloyd, Bull, on and on. That's a fact. Yeah, I don't know why his wife just called it straight right there. He said she's usually wrong. I'm like, dang, Todd. Okay.
Minded about that, right? Like, I just think when you're not, I think it really closes off opportunities to evolve and get to the highest level you can get to in anything that you do. So I just find that's what, to me, I think I've done a pretty good job of, which is, I wouldn't say listening. That's always a work in progress, but it is in terms of being open-minded to other ways of doing it and getting it right, not being right. And I think I've tried to keep that in mind. It's getting it right, not always being right, as much as I prefer to be right.
When you obviously study...
That was the part when I first listened to this, y'all, when I say I was dying laughing, I was like, hold on, let me play this back. Did he really, his wife just catch it straight like that? He's been married. He won't be married long with that attitude. How long he been married? He's been with his wife for a minute. I think he said in his first press conference. They've been together for 20 plus years. So I think it's one of those ones where, when people, once you hit a certain point where you've been together for so long, like you just don't hide how you truly feel. You just say it. I think they're at that point because I want to say, my numbers could be wrong, but I want to say I think he said they've been together like 25 years or somewhere in that range. They've been married like 19 or 18, somewhere in that range. They've been together for a while. So you can tell he definitely, he's not saying nothing right now that he ain't said before. You can tell. You can tell. He can't help himself sometimes. He can't. He just said it. He just she's usually wrong. That's not open-minded, Ty. Yeah, he just said she usually wrong. I'm like, dang. Prime came out of there. Yeah, very similar. Very similar. Monken is a wild boy. His wife knows him. She does. I thought that was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious when he said that. I think this is the Shador question. Let's get to it.
2025 Browns, look at the roster, figure out what 2026
Oh, no, that's
looks
not.
like.
This is not the Shador question. This is a messed up question. He's going to try to say, like, what can you do better than they did last year? That's kind of like not an appropriate question because that put him in a position where you kind of got to take a shot at what they did last year, and some of those guys are still on the team. So I didn't like this question.
When you're looking at the 2026 Browns, what do you think the biggest difference would be the fans will see from 2025 to 2026 with Todd Monken and then the guys who have going forward, your core, all that?
What would they see different?
Well, just like what are the 2026 Browns going to look like? I know that's a hard question to answer.
That's a better question. Ask, what do you want the 2026 Browns to look like? Don't try to pit last year's team against this year's team when it's carryover and guys who are still on the team. And he's talked about how he's excited to coach these players. I didn't like the first initial framing of the question. And Todd is like, man, you're not getting me with that. You got to reframe that. So, yeah, that's definitely a loaded question. And I'm happy that he made him. Reframe that.
Answer.
Well, it's
in March.
like I said, I mean, obviously, as I really it kind of falls into what I said earlier, which is more along the lines of your physicality, your effort, and your execution pop off the tape, because that has nothing to do with what scheme you run. That's just a core principle of, like, the way I like to say it is, as much as I love winning and I hate losing, I despise football. Like, absolutely despise that it doesn't look like you want it to look like where it's just like you got 10 on the field, you got 12, you're up against the clock, you don't have the effort that you look for. It doesn't even look like you've practiced. Sorry, you can bleep that out.
Please,
but it's like,
no, we're good here.
But it's like, there's nothing worse than that, than having it, because it's a reflection of you. That is you out there. I said that and I stole it from other people, but I said that in my press conference, man. When Jimmy and Dee sign my check with my name on it, sign a check with my name on it, they expect a kick-ass football team. And my job's to prove them right every day. I mean, that's when I got paid at the last place I was at, and they expected a kick-ass offense. And that was my job to try and prove that every day. That's what a player's job is. When they sign a check with their name on it, it's their job to prove it every day, just like all of us. That's our job.
I like that. Performance-based. Prove it every day. I like that. I like that view. I like that take. It's not just the media, D. Tell me more. Which part are you talking about, C. Anderson? Tell me more. I like how you hear his passion for what's expected. I agree. Passion and pride. I like to hear and see that come through when you're speaking. I like to see that. I've had 43 years of marriage before my wife passed. He ain't housebroken yet. He'll learn. I see a sense of stubbornness about him that I think he just is who he is. It's that old man thing, man. I see it. I have it in me. Like, I'm just me. I can't be nobody else. I can't change and switch to be this person for this. At this point in my life, I'm just me. It's like take it or leave it. So that's what I'll say. They ain't told you nothing for a fact. You are also interpreting. Explain more. I would say I'm also not speculating like they are. So if I kind of got to know which part of the conversation you're talking about, C.A. Anderson. I got to know which part of the conversation you're talking about so that we could like have the conversation. I would say I do more looking at what they actually say. So if I'm going based on what the decision makers say, I would say that's the fact because they make the decision, and then I respond to that versus me speculating on what I believe the decision makers will do. So I'm trying to see which part of the conversation you're talking about, but that's the baseline that I have for myself. If you notice, one thing that's very different about me, I go based on things we can find real answers to versus speculation. I usually don't speculate that much at all. So, but tell me more of which part of the conversation you're talking about, and then we can always have a conversation.
Me, a guy just studying the film, having not gotten in there and being able to do, mini camps and training camp and all that stuff. Give me a guy you think on the Browns that's ready to take a leap.
Well, it's hard because I really think Mason Graham's going to take another step. I think we're going to be able to get Jerry Jeudy back to 2 years ago. And that's not a leap. That's just maybe a relief.
Relieping.
It's not even a word.
It is now.
But I think we're going to be able to get I can't wait to get a full year in off season when we get Q back at running back. I think Fannin in his second year, I think we're going to see another leap. And obviously, Shador, Deshaun, the quarterback position, if there's not a huge leap to be there, Deshaun's healthy again. You've got Shador and Dillon who are 1-year players. There ought to be unbelievable growth in that room that I'm excited to get started. Hell, it's a week from today. We get a chance to get started with the guys.
Oh, yeah.
He had to make sure he didn't leave out Dillon. He had to add Dillon. Don't forget Dillon, Todd. He on the team. Don't forget Dillon.
Just for big picture on Shador, just year one, just what did you see on film?
I think
we're at the point where ESPN started to clip up his answer. And once you hear his answer all the way through, it doesn't really sound like the clip. Yeah, he's also going to say he wants to get more out of Jerry Jeudy to get Jerry Jeudy back to what he was 2 years ago. So I thought that was good too.
You see playmaking ability. I think you see a player that is confident in his skill set. So when you see that playmaking ability and inner confidence, you say, okay, there's something to work with there. So I think that's the thing that excites you. I said it this morning that 15 or 20 years ago, they would have said that Shador Sanders was athletic. They would have said he could escape. Well, the game's changed so much to now he's not a mobile quarterback. No, he's mobile. He's just not as mobile as what we've come to. We've come to where Lamar Jackson or the quickness that these players have, their escapability is completely changed from when it was. But I do think what you see on tape are those aspects. A very young player that really didn't grow up in a pro-style offense. It's not his fault. That's okay. I was at Oklahoma State with Brandon Weeden, and we were air raid, and he got drafted here. He didn't grow up in that. That's not their fault. Now it's going to be our fault if we can't develop them. Then it's our fault. It's our job is to develop all the players that show up in the building and try to get the best out of all of them, create the best version of them.
All right, wrap it.
So that's a different full scope answer than what they initially put out. So to me, he gave an example like, hey, Brandon Weeden, he was drafted by the Browns. He was a lot older quarterback when we drafted him, but he played in the spread offense. That wasn't pro style, but it's our job to develop him. So the initial time they put that out, it was meant to be portrayed in a negative light. But once you hear the full answer, it doesn't sound like anything different than Todd Monken has said previously. Nothing different. So they were kind of janky with how they put out that first initial clip, but This cleaned it up a lot. Let's catch up on the chat. He could have been cold and said the players could have had better coaching. Yeah, that would have been good. That's why I didn't like that question. I didn't like that question because, and I'm glad he didn't take the bait for throwing shade at the coach or players who are on the team. I'm happy he didn't take the bait. Also, Jerry Jeudy, let's see. He putting Jerry Jeudy on notice. Yeah, he said he wanted to get him back to what he was 2 years ago, so we're going to see. Shedeur is always the first out of his mouth. He is. He just put it out there. Seems like the Browns been putting a lot of narratives to bed when it comes to Shedeur, but maybe that's just me. That's what I see as well. I mean, if you look at the combination. Look at the Browns' thumbnails. Look at their captions. Look at the videos. Some of it they are making it very clear with no guesswork. When they titled the interview or press conference they had with Todd Monken and they put on the thumbnail, reps will not be divided evenly. What are they telling you? What are they telling you by saying that? So to me, it's clear, it's evident. They are making their message very clear. So that's how I see it. They're about to swap Dylan out. They're trying to make sure he's seen as valuable. Man, oh man. I think Dylan's gonna be on the team. I don't see this trade. I don't see the trade coming for Dylan. That's how I see it. It's cool. I'm not decision maker. I could be wrong about it, but I don't see it. I don't see it. Brucey Gable will be gone before June 1st. Yeah, like I said, I don't see it. I think so. They've been more intentional about that recently. If they do, I'm curious to see where he goes. I remember a time in football whereas if you front the QB off, you may never see the ball again. Yes, like Jerry Jeudy did. The Browns will still look incompetent if they keep Brucey. He's not an NFL QB. I don't agree with that because are you implying with that Dylan Gabriel is going to start before Shedeur or Deshaun? I think it's very simple. I see it like Shedeur give him the best option. I believe Shedeur is going to win. I think an injured or not a fully athletic, I see not even a fully athletic Deshaun is better than Dylan Gabriel because Dylan Gabriel, his limitations are physical. You can't make him taller. You can't make him see the middle of the field better. So I don't think Dylan Gabriel is going to start. So I don't think he's going to have control of the team to even make the difference on if they're good or bad. So I just see that differently. You also hear him say it's our fault if we don't develop the players. Taking accountability. Is it now that some college programs are more pro ready than others like SEC or other divisions? I would say this. When people say if somebody is pro ready or not, I think it's more specific to what that individual did. Because there are some traits, is some stuff that you do in college that just, you're not going to do it at that same rate in the NFL. That's why I made the example out of Fernando Mendoza. Fernando Mendoza only took 5 snaps under center. That's not pro ready. You're going to take closer to, I think most good offensive coordinators want to be more 50-50. 50% snaps under center, 50% snaps out of the gun. So you keep that balance. You can keep a defense off balance. So him taking only 5 snaps under center, that's not pro ready. So I think people use these things as a blanket statement, but it's more so you got to break it down a little bit more to determine if something is pro ready or not. Pro ready could be the type of route packages that the receivers ran. Pro ready could be the quarterback ran more. It could be so many more things to pro ready. That's why I think it wasn't used sincerely when they were talking about pro ready last year for Shedeur, because it's not a blanket thing. If you were an offensive lineman that played in a hurry up offense that ran a play every 12 seconds, that's not pro ready, because you're not going to do that majority of the time in the NFL. So just using the pro-ready thing, I think it's a blanket statement that really needs to be explained way more. It's more of a style of system that you played in, not necessarily where you played. You could play for Army or the Navy, which run the ball a lot, and be a guard that plays in the Army or Navy and be more pro-ready than the guard that played in the SEC. So I know people use that to knock Shador, but as soon as you take it to another position, the way they use the things to knock Shador don't make sense anywhere else. It just don't make sense. So the pro-ready thing, it really has to be broken down more to say that this SEC, Big Ten are more pro-ready than somebody else. I don't believe that could be a blanket statement that you could use. Not shrinking from responsibility. I like that as well. When Monken said that, I couldn't even tell you. I don't know, D. I think Dylan going too. I would say financially it doesn't make that much sense unless they get a late round quarterback that is going to be more cost effective than Dylan Gabriel. I don't think they take on a higher price quarterback that costs more than Dylan to be a third quarterback. That's my take. My brain loves positivity today. The guys been good to me. Got a dip. See y'all. Catch you later. Enjoy the rest of your day. Don't forget to put that extension in. They put DG back to QB2 on the depth chart. Not sure if that means anything or not. It's so early. I wouldn't read too much into that. Cleveland ain't got no depth chart right now. They have one on their website. Monk has repeatedly stated that it's the coach's job to develop a player. It is. That's also something that Jimmy Haslam said and Andrew Berry said that they didn't see enough of last year. What's the order of the QB room now? I would just say it's not in concrete, the depth chart. When I'm saying QB1, QB2, and QB3, I'm saying based on my projections of where I see them. I'm not saying that it's locked in stone. I don't think is a lot of value in what the depth chart says today because, as Todd Monken said, that can change practice to practice. So some of the things that were heavily highlighted and focused on last year is not even going to make sense to focus on them this year. And I would say kind of the depth chart this early, it's cool that it's there. I don't think it's really giving us that much information, though. Shador QB1, DG QB2, Watson QB3. That's what I'm thinking, D. It'll be a rookie. Yeah, maybe. I don't see him. I don't see Dylan Gabriel having trade value. But I see it is, if it's financial, if they take another fifth round rookie quarterback, he'll be cheaper than Dylan Gabriel. I think that's the way they would do it. I don't see who was traded for Dylan Gabriel. If a team wanted Dylan Gabriel, the time to make trades are usually before the draft. So you get an immediate return that you can use in the next year. It's not that often that these trades are happening late. So just usually doesn't happen that way. That's what I'm thinking, D. It'll be a rookie. Yeah, if it's a rookie that costs less, then maybe I'll see it. But just trading him, what's the trade value for him? Like, who's knocking down the door to say we want to come get Dylan Gabriel? I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying it doesn't look that likely. ESPN has one of all the new players. Yeah, ESPN keeps on updated. Late round. I agree. I can see it being late round. Dylan is a new Tim Tebow, as John Ayer said, he can't throw the ball. It's just he has limitations physically where he can't see the whole field. He cannot see the whole field. Do you think Dylan Gabriel can be better under Monken? Was Kevin the problem? I think Dylan Gabriel has physical limitations where it kind of doesn't matter that much who the coach is. Defenses win reps also. So if defenses know you have problems seeing the middle of the field, they're going to blanket the outside and force you to throw it in the middle of the field. I don't think Dylan Gabriel can grow and be taller to see the middle of the field. So I think Dillon Gabriel has physical limitations that just he has a ceiling with how good he can be because he can't see the field. If you go back to when he was at Oregon, a lot of the big plays he made down the field, if it was anywhere in between the hashes, the offensive line blocked and spread it out so he can see. And that's just not something that happens as much in the NFL. They did it for a while with Tua. Tua's downfall wasn't that Tua got worse. Tua's downfall was teams started to take away what he did effectively. So Tua couldn't see the whole field. So the way they took advantage of other teams was they had speed. They got the ball out of his hands quick. Well, what did teams do to counter that? Teams started to take away quick reads from him and force him to stay in the pocket to see the field longer. What did that equal? It equaled more interceptions. So you can't get taller. Your height is your height at that point. So I think his limitations are a lot more physical. And I think that's why they said he's good on the board. Yeah, because on the board, you don't have to look past linemen. On ESPN website, I think what you're looking for, TK, is if you go to ESPN, if you go to NFL, if you click on teams, you click Browns, they'll have a depth chart there. I think that's what you're looking for. I agree. What's DG trade value? Yeah, I just don't. I just don't know. Usually, if a player in a second year is getting traded and they haven't got in trouble off the field, it's going to be a team that viewed you highly in the draft. So if the rumors are true that Miami is a team that had an eye on Dillon Gabriel, well, they just signed Malik Willis. They already have Quinn Ewers. So why would they trade to come get Dillon Gabriel? So, I mean, I just don't see it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll come back and say I was wrong about it, but I just don't see it because a team can want to trade a player and nobody can want to trade for that player. Then you won't have a trade. So it's still crazy they drafted him in the third round. What were they thinking? I don't know what they were thinking to draft him in the third round. Are there any positions DG could play? No, just quarterback because he's not fast enough to switch to a running back. So just quarterback. It's just he got physical limitations. He has physical limitations that just don't lend to him. Just don't lend to him just having a high value around the NFL. I don't know exactly how we gonna get going. I just think he will. Yeah, I see an opportunity for him not to be on the team, but I think that's more so if they get a player with a higher upside late in the draft who costs less, then maybe. He can't run fast. We saw that this season. Yeah. D, how dare you know your craft and know how to explain in depth with examples? What? Hey, you got to put in some work. You got to learn. You got to learn. I know you was joking, Marie. I know you was joking. I was more so responding to A.M. Williams. Thanks, D. That's what I wanted to know. Thank you. Oh, no problem. I got you. If they draft a QB, somebody get him removed. I agree with that. I just think that if they draft a quarterback, it won't be third round. It'll be past third round, and it'll be cost effective. And they'll say, hey, this young quarterback we drafted has a higher upside. I think at that point, DG would just get cut. I think he would get cut. So I think if anything, before I see him getting traded, I see him getting cut. And I think the reason why he would get cut would be because they got a lower cost option who they believe has a higher upside later in the draft. That's the route I could see. So if he was gone, I think that would be the route to sum it up. Let's see if we got anything else from Todd Monken here. Most underrated player was a weird question. This one wasn't the best question. I think this question I liked his answer.
Interesting. We do something called Badasses. It's a biggest badass you've ever been around. Meanest, toughest. You know, I always joke, like, if an alien comes down and says, "Take me to the football player," you're taking him to this person, whoever you're describing. We put him on a board at our home studio.
Nakobe Dean.
Oh,
that guy's a badass.
Yes,
I love Nakobe Dean.
Explain why.
Oh man, diligent.
Yeah.
A ready, aim, fire guy, not a fire aim guy. Practices his ass off, holds others accountable, plays hurt. Nakobe Dean.
That's great.
I like how if you ask Todd Monken a question, he has an answer to, he going right to it. He answered so fast and didn't think about it that he kind of threw him off. He was just looking like, man, I wasn't expecting you to have answered that quick. It's a couple more minutes to this. It was kind of awkward because he asked Todd Monken weird questions, don't really make sense. But y'all can check this out. This is NFL on ESPN. They finally put out. The clip doesn't match what they did previously, what they put out. The full answer doesn't match the clip that they put out previously is what I want to say. So hopefully y'all enjoyed another stream, another one in the books, y'all. We'll catch up on the chat before we wrap this thing up. Let's see. Well, even if they draft a QB, can't DG run the practice squad? Potentially he could, but I think they would go. I think the way they would do it is you would have 2 active. So your starter, your backup, your emergency, you'll bring them up on Sundays. So I think they will probably go 3. I think trying to keep control of 4 QBs is a stretch. Excuse me. Trying to keep up with 4 QBs is a stretch. It's a stretch. That's why they couldn't successfully do it last year. Usually you want to have 3 available to you. Monken said fans love explosive plays downfield. Dylan don't fit that. No, that is not his game. That is not his game. Not his game at all. I think DG knows his future is not bright. He is making other plans. See, I think he could be a backup. I think he could be a backup on teams for a while. I just don't think he's a surefire starter because it doesn't seem like he really caused no problems really too much besides the stuff he said last year. DG not going anywhere until the trade deadline in the middle of the night like the other QB guy. Oh, man, like when they traded Greg Newsome in the middle of the night. They do during training camp. They need camp arm like Shador was last year, but most during regular season keep 2 to 3. That's exactly it, Jay. That's exactly it. Shout out to, let me see. Shout out to Black Pearl for the support once we put it together with Coach Prime. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this stream. Like, comment, and subscribe. Off the Record D merch is on the way. It's coming soon. We're going to get that drop ready for y'all. Hopefully y'all enjoy it. We got 2 days to chill, relax. Don't worry about a bunch of the narratives being put out there. Protect your peace. We're going to be back at this thing on Friday. So y'all enjoy the next couple of days. Don't forget, today is tax day. If you got to file the extension is easy. It's simple. Enjoy the next couple of days. I will see y'all. Peace, everybody.
Look at what I did. Look at what I started. Look how far I came, dog. I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog. I just went my hardest. And I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah. Ran in my check, I ran on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. Ran in my check, I ran on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. And how good they judge me, oh. But they
They're
don't.
setting Dylan Gabriel up. Take the biggest L out of
Look how far I came, dog. I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog. I just went my hardest. And I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah. Ran in my check, I ran on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. Ran in my check, I ran on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. And how good they judge me,